Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Real Debaters. I am Micheal Petrow.
I'm Charles Fernandes.
And I'm Jimmy Skinner.
Out on the West Coast is...
Martin is sick, but it's not sexually transmitted.
Why did you go there?
He's just fucking really ill.
He
He's
started
really
the show there. I'm sick, but it's not sexual. No one thought that.
Yeah, well, sometimes people do. People think
It's not herpes if it's everywhere.
He's a deviant, this guy.
I got tested before, so
When we were supposed to record yesterday, he was out getting the sexual thing that is now he's sick with today.
It's fermenting now.
You got to wrap it up.
This week on the show, it's a debate inspired by a really great Marvel show, the What If idea. Originally a comic book, right? Am I right on that? I don't know much about
Probably, yes.
Yeah, it was a comic book series before it was.
I think so, yeah.
So Martin came up with an idea that, like, what if is so much fun because, like, what if Peggy Carter was Captain America? And, like, what if Star-Lord did this? Or what if Thanos was somebody you could drink with in a bar? Whatever. And to Jimmy's point even.
What if we just made all of our movies 30 minutes long?
Right? Exactly. Jimmy
Oh, my God.
Jimmy loves to swear
It turns out
by
we
that.
could do that the whole time. Oh, wow. So, yeah, this was all pointless then.
18 years was for nothing.
Nothing.
But Martin came up with this great idea for a debate where it's like, well, what if is used in the Marvel universe? Well, what if we actually did things that almost happened, could have happened, should have happened, and then we just pick fun ideas to pitch around the room. So that's what we're doing.
Universe-altering events.
Exactly. Things that could have really made a big crack in a lot of...
multiverse, baby.
Right? So we're doing a what-if debate for you this week. It's in the form of our pitch-off. If you haven't been to one of these before, it's where one of us sits judge, and then the three of us pitch the room. Best pitch wins. We condense the portion of the arguments.
We call
make
it pitch perfect.
Yeah, we do actually. And we're the pitches.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Still haven't seen either of those movies.
God
Oh,
damn.
my God.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
know.
watching those movies is what I'm doing. But before we get into it, we just want to talk about what
Let's talk
we're
about us.
doing with the Real Debaters. We do want to mention, due to scheduling conflicts, sorry for trivia at Finn's. Things just started to get nice in the world and things started happening and emergencies took place. So we are redoing that. I'll get to that in a moment. But Jimmy, you've got stuff with Laughs at Gaffs and stuff. At the
We've got
Daughter. Tell
Laughs
the
at
people.
Gaffs again in June. I think it's, oh, dear God, the 22nd.
22nd,
The 22nd,
yeah.
Yep. We're excited to be back again. Hopefully we'll have a spotlight this time. The last four haven't. And it's just light from the back, so you can't see anyone's face.
I am going to get a spotlight for you from Long and McQuaid.
They want me to use a floodlight, and it's going to get so hot.
Are you fishing?
Oh, no, don't
Are you
do
fishing
that.
and
Don't
doing
do that.
comedy?
It's like,
Yeah.
it's just, it's
You get a
the,
cheap spotlight on Amazon, Jimmy.
Yeah,
Like,
dude,
well-
we can rent one for like $7 at this lovely place called Long and McQuaid.
see, and here am I thinking that the venue should have that.
Yeah.
None of us
Yeah.
don't
Who
disagree.
knew?
None of us disagree with you.
Who knew?
Because they
Oh,
had
God.
one and then it broke?
Yep, just long time ago.
And
And
then
they've
they
had
just
bands
haven't-
and stuff since.
And they haven't
No.
no intention of fixing it. You guys should do a show that's fix the clock tower, but it's like fix the spotlight. All donations go to fixing the spotlight tonight,
Save
guys.
Ferris.
You know what?
Yeah.
Okay, we need to go out there, the two of us.
Yeah,
and just, like,
seriously,
pass
I'll
the
do
hat.
that.
I'll do
sure.
it. I'm
I
down.
just don't know what
Yeah.
the issue is. But we're excited to be back. And then comedy every Thursday at the Daughter. We got open mic shows. We've got queer open mic and queer-themed shows. Indigenous open mic coming up. And a bunch of themed shows that we're planning coming up. We're going to do Weird Al karaoke on the 27th, so come out to that.
Oh my God!
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
really?
I'm
it's gonna be
there.
sick. It's gonna
I'm
be great.
there.
I need my
Oh.
I need the day job to stop kicking my ass so much so that I'm like, yay, I look forward to
These are good
things.
shows. Comics
Yeah.
write their own parody songs and perform
Do you
them.
guys
It's a
have
great
like
time.
all his catalog, like living
No,
with a
no. So
hernia?
it's not Weird Al karaoke.
That's what I want.
Oh, I want
I want only Weird Al karaoke.
That's a good idea also.
like I want a performance of Fat
This
on
is
stage.
This
Yeah.
is comics writing their own parody songs and then performing them in the style of Weird Al.
Okay, that's great. I'm into that.
It's a
That's
good show.
great. That's great.
It's a good
dig
show.
it.
There hasn't been one in Winnipeg for a while, I don't think, so this should be a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All these things.
The Daughter's bringing it back, man.
We're
if
bringing
you
it
want
back.
to do comedy, you got to be.
You gotta be there.
You got to be at the Daughter.
and,
That's
you,
right.
and you need a spotlight.
They
So-
have one.
God,
so
they got one.
No,
It's
they,
so
they
bright.
Do. They do.
It's
They
so
do.
damn
Oh,
bright.
it's bright.
Yeah. No, it's fun doing shit at the Daughter. It's like it is the perfect room, right?
Yeah.
Because it's intimate enough that like
You get your own stage.
you get your own stage. But
Yeah.
People who just want to drink can sit and drink.
you can see
Yeah.
the whites of everybody's eyes, though,
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate that being someone of not a high caliber of a performer. Anyways,
We've
all
made
these-
you into one.
yeah, you did. You did. You've all molded me. You've taken this hard exterior,
Beautiful boy.
this marble. and
My beautiful, beautiful boy.
Beautiful hairy baby.
He's not wrong. I just want to say all those things can be found at the link in our bio, at the link in all the show notes. If you want to follow Jimmy's comedy, follow the daughter. 2 great things to follow for lots of fun things in Winnipeg. Anyways, anything else? Sorry
Get
for
involved
cutting
on the
you
ground floor.
off. Yeah, do it. Seriously, we are.
Yeah.
Trivia nights at the daughter. A lot of fun. Charles, any new shit on the Nerdgasm?
Yeah, the nerdies are on their way. I'm like in the editing process, so they will before August. That's what we're all saying at the office. So we're on
2025.
Yeah.
How long?
Yeah,
How long
yeah.
for them sausages? Turkish. 3 minutes.
And then I have a mini series that's just on the Instagram page exclusively. So it's just mini rants and mini
That's what I'm
little
talking
reviews
about.
and
Is
stuff.
that you've
Yeah.
kind of got your own Peter Griffin thing going on over
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
really grinds
So-
my gears.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, just having fun with that and just keeping busy as much as possible. But yeah, go over to the Instagram page. I mean, everything's in the like Mike said. You can find everything in the link tree or whatever, and just follow everything, and we can have fun.
I've taken
You don't miss out.
everybody's thing and turned it into a thing of things that you can go to and be like, oh, do I like dodgeball today? Emily. Do I like comic books today? Mark or Charles. Do I want to go see comedy? Martin or Jimmy. Right? It's kind of like do I want to see a beautiful dog? Diamond. Right? Not even Ian. Fuck Ian. No, I'm just kidding.
It's beautiful though. It's a very nice. You've done a great job of.
Post that soundbite later.
Never hear in the light of day. For us, we're skipping the whole June thing because it's nice and we want to get out. And do
Finally.
shit and stuff.
Finally.
Right? And I mean, fuck hockey. That's still going on. So then,
Hacky.
it's really hard to pull you hockey people away from your things and be like, let's
They love
talk
their
Star
hacky.
Wars tonight. So
See, my team's done. I'm fully out.
right?
I don't care.
I don't.
You're
why
not
are you-
Oilers, eh?
No.
No.
That means nothing to me.
I know.
It doesn't make
Detroit fan,
sense.
my friend.
I say that to
Detroit
everyone. They're
Red
like,
Wings.
"Fuck you." And I'm
Why
like,
would you
okay.
cheer for the Canadian team? You would cheer for the team that has the most Canadian guys.
Yeah.
That
So
makes more
what
sense
team
to
is,
me.
What
That's
team
Vegas
Is
still.
There's Edmonton, of course.
But Vegas is out, right?
Vegas
wanna
is
cheer
on
for
now, yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah, sorry.
But it's just
This is where I am with the whole
that? I
thing.
know. I
if
have
you
no
cheer
idea.
for the team with the most Canadian guys, there's a better chance of them bringing it to a town near you.
that you can see it.
So you get to actually.
Does
that make
be-
sense?
be
Yeah,
near the
no,
cup.
totally.
Yeah.
that makes perfect
I mean, what's his face?
Unless you live in Edmonton.
The way that I saw it was fucking Jonathan Taves on Chicago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally. And so trivia. What was I saying? Yeah, July 3rd. Theme unannounced yet. We're gonna make one for this one. I think we're gonna stick hard on.
We should do Ron Jeremy.
We should.
Porn trivia.
That's the lightning
Do
round.
you want to do porn trivia?
That might pull people in.
The theme
That-
is childhood
and off.
traumas.
Yeah, I see what you did
Childhood
there.
traumas, the Ron Jeremy round.
First question. How long is it? Last
Oh,
question.
God.
How long
Oh,
was
God.
it? No.
in centimeters.
Theme.
Widescreen, full screen didn't fit.
Yeah. Him. I mean, when you're nicknamed the Hedgehog.
You can't do 3:1 ratio.
Yeah. No. Things don't.
Zack Snyder would be pissed.
We weren't filming IMAX yet in porn, unfortunately.
4x3 only, kids.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to see Zack Snyder direct Ron Jeremy in
Oh
something.
my God.
Too much slow mo.
Dark side.
Point
Lots
is,
of slow motion
Oh,
and explosions. Lots of wind.
shut up for a second. What I'm trying to say is the
Outdoors?
theme is undetermined for trivia, but it will be July 3rd at Handsome Daughter, Wednesday, July 3rd, right before Folk Fest. Something fun to do. 4 rounds of trivia. We'll send you to the movies like we always do, courtesy of Landmark Theaters, the only theater that the real debaters go to. Pretty much.
That's actually their new slogan.
Yeah.
You might see that soon.
It's still in negotiation.
Yes.
The only
Yeah.
theater supported by the Real Debaters podcast.
podcast.
So we'll send you to the movies. And then also July 26th. Now, this is a very special trivia. This one is, well, Jimmy, how about you just explain what the point of this
we're
fucking
gonna do
trivia is?
Simpsons
Give-
trivia.
Give listeners some backstory if they don't understand why this is going to be.
We're gonna do
so
Simpsons
fun.
trivia, and we're gonna make Michael compete with us because Michael has seen very little because he wasn't allowed to as a boy.
Yeah. And
one of
now that I'm
those-
42, I still haven't bothered. What the fuck is wrong with that?
So we're gonna have Michael compete at the same time, and maybe if your team, we're gonna have some prizes for first, maybe second, and then if you happen to be a team that beats Michael, you'll maybe get a little prize too.
Yeah, it's not going to be hard because I know sweet fuck all. If you were at our first debate, our first debate where Simpsons came up, which was at the Daughter, it was recorded.
Oh, yeah.
You can listen to it. My mom came because you come see your son do their thing, right? Even in his 40s, you come see your son do his thing, and all you fuckers dogpiled on me and came at me for not having seen The Simpsons, and I just shamelessly went, "It's my mother's fault," and she's sitting right there.
And
it's
then
on.
she destroyed you too.
And then she destroyed me about it too, right? Like, and flipped it back on me. So, like, I have zero fucks in the I have Simpsons a blind spot. So I'm gonna do this
It's a blind spot.
the best I can. There's gonna be obviously some made up things, but
And get your tickets quick because Simpsons trivia tends to go pretty fast in this damn city.
it does. Like, that's a big thing to do.
Back to Winnipeg.
Right. I mean, isn't that Matt Groening? Matt Groening has some in-law here.
Yeah,
I believe he has ties here.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has ties. It's like Kevin Smith's being obsessed with Manitoba.
Yeah.
Kind
of. Definitely. And I know that one. That's the one where they're fighting in the car, and it's about getting. Isn't that getting
if you
drugs
kids
from
act
Canada?
up one more time, I'm turning this car
It's
around.
the road trip episode.
Yeah, the road trip.
And then
but
Nelson just it's in perfect time.
like, I know, listener, I know shit. Like, hey, your epidermis is showing. I know.
I'm in danger.
Not a good Nelson impression.
He's reading off of a chart.
Technically, it's showing. It's a skin.
Are you guys gonna check him for a cheat sheet or what?
I don't think
You
well,
mean
after the
you mean
first
just take my
round.
phone?
The first round is the easiest, and after that one, I think you'll see we won't need.
Oh right,
We won't need
right.
to check him.
I might just be in the back lane smoking.
You know what he's gonna do? He's just gonna watch the movie over and over and then kill that round. And
Yeah.
he'll just get every
He
answer in
could.
that one.
He could.
I'm gonna drop a hard 11 out of 10 on all you bitches. No, okay. So July 3rd is at the Daughter, $5. July 26th at Little Brown Jug, Simpsons themed trivia. Audience against Michael, July 26th, Friday night, 7 p.m. $5 as well. Tickets will be going on sale when we tell you. They'll be going on sale. So,
We tell
yeah,
you.
we tell you when they go on sale. So when we get closer to the day,
Straight
we'll
like
put them
that.
on sale.
Don't check. We'll tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Tickets on sale. We'll tell you.
Jane,
Dang
they're
it.
supposed to
God
subscribe to
damn.
the show, and then they know.
What's with all the questions?
Quit it. Jesus. Yeah, no, subscribe to the show. Hit us up in the show notes. Follow us, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. You'll always know what's going on. So that's about it.
Because
for
we'll tell you.
We'll fucking tell you, bitches.
Just feel like that's such a good promo for like Wednesday Night Raw with the debaters. We'll tell you what time.
So that's the us portion of the show. So without further ado, let's step off this mortal coil. Martin, what'd you watch this week?
I have watched the first 2 episodes of The Sympathizer. And I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty fucking amazing.
What's it
Nice.
pretty fucking about? What's the whole story?
Sympathizing.
It's about this guy. It takes place towards the end of the Vietnam War, the fall of Saigon. That's when it starts, and it's about this guy who works for the CIA during the fall of Saigon and throughout the Vietnam War. But you find out he's a double agent
Dun,
working
dun,
for the
dun.
North Vietnamese army. So he gets, like, during the fall of Saigon, because he works so closely with the southern government, he gets shipped off to the States.
Oh boy.
And that's how the show starts. Well, it starts, but that's how, like, it goes off. Because he's in the States, he's still a North Vietnamese agent, like a sleeper agent, reporting in on what the current Vietnamese government in exile is doing in the States. And the best part is Robert Downey Jr. First episode, he plays the guy's handler, like the CIA handler. And in the second episode, he plays his very flamboyant professor in California
Doesn't he cover
who loves Asian culture.
So he is playing different characters. It's not like one
Plays
guy.
2 different characters.
Oh, okay. Because I know a bit about it, but I just saw like a little bit of promo,
Yeah,
I thought it was like him playing like an agent, like playing different characters as like a spy or something. That's
You
how
mean
my,
you thought this was Tom Cruise in Mission
I
Impossible?
don't know. That's how my brain took it, but I like the idea that he's actually playing different people. I think that's
Yeah, 2
awesome.
different people. It's hilarious.
That's great.
It took me by surprise. I didn't expect this much satire in it. I thought it was gonna be like, your typical spy thriller.
Yeah.
But it's so funny at certain points, but the serious points do get serious. Like, you see, like, crazy shit happen towards the end of episode 1, but building up to that, a bunch of funny shit happening as well. So
this is
yeah, the
post.
humor was unexpected for it, and I think it's got a lot of humor in it, which is hilarious.
And that,
like I said, Robert
that can
Downey
hit
Jr.
harder
plays.
too.
Yeah, it does hit hard when the humor is all in, and then all of a sudden, like, the real shit happens. You're like, oh fuck, I forgot. Like, this is what really happened during the Vietnam
I'm
War.
not supposed to be having fun right now.
Yeah.
So this is post Vietnam War, or are they still going?
It like the first episode I think is like 48 hours or maybe like a month before the fall of Saigon.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
that's
like
some
right
crazy time.
It's like right at the end. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's during like the CIA promising to get people out and leaving everybody
Is it, like,
behind.
Born on the
and-
4th of July
that's
time?
pretty much what the whole episode is about.
Really? Oh, you've
Yeah.
just sold me on
That's
that.
wild.
Like them fucking assholes during Vietnam War and all that shit. When they started, like, I was completely another blind spot was the Vietnam War. I didn't realize how much bullshit actually went on after the war. Like, and continued going. Like,
I think what did they say? I might be mistaken, but I think it's there were more American soldiers killed by actual Americans than the actual what they like the enemy they intended kind of thing. Because it was horrible. It was awful.
It was a clusterfuck.
Yeah, it was exactly. That's the best way to basically say it. Like, all war is insane, but that one was just like, hey, let's go in with no game plan and see what happens. It was like,
well, you want to play some
well,
Yahtzee in Vietnam
Yeah.
and see who comes up?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
insane. So like, is it hour long? Because it's HBO.
They're,
right?
I think about an hour long. I think, they're about 45 minutes to an hour. Like it's HBO, right? So
Yeah.
I think.
Their
about
classic
45 minutes an
pilot
hour.
is always an hour. Like, usually their pilot episodes are always
It's very
a
formulaic.
solid hour, which makes sense because it's a lot of world building and everything. So
You gotta hook us.
yeah.
You get your barb in me. To
I
keep
love
me
that
going.
Downey Jr.'s just still doing awesome roles and shit like that, though. That's
Okay,
great.
to Charles's point, Martin, how is post Iron Man Robert Downey Jr.? Because there hasn't been
Oh, he's
much.
hilarious. He's the best
but
part of that show.
Yeah.
Like when he plays the flamboyant professor in California, who loves Asian culture, and he like the way he treats.
What are you
his
getting at
assistant,
when you say
Sandra
he
Oh.
loves Asian
Sandra
culture?
Oh is in it too, and he plays Robert Downey Jr.'s assistant, and the way he treats her is hilarious. And they still use the term Oriental, which isn't very good today,
dear God.
but that was
Yeah.
the 70s, and they're still like throwing that around, like it's like, oh yeah, Oriental. It's like, oh, fuck.
I've been like, I mean, again, how many of us can all say there's too much fucking shit to watch now?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I want to get to it, but
Yeah.
there's just been other stuff. So okay, how many
How many RDJ characters out of 10 do you give it?
Perfect.
I'm gonna give it 8 RDJ blackface characters.
Holy shit, that's on fire.
What was the name
That's
again?
a dude playing another dude good.
Playing another dude.
Oh, what was that character's name? It was so great.
Oh,
Kirk
Lincoln
Lazarus.
Osiris.
Kirk
Kirk
Lazarus.
Lazarus was the
Yep.
Australian.
Lazarus, Lincoln Osiris.
Lincoln
Lincoln
Osiris.
Osiris.
Oh,
Yeah.
what a name. What a name. Fuck. Oh, fuck me.
All right.
I love when he's like, what do you mean you people? And he's like, what do you mean you people? And he's like, huh? Fuck me.
If you love RDJ, you gotta check it out. Like this is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed with his character in, what is that, Oppenheimer? I was like, this is not as big.
You
Wasn't
wanted
my
more.
favorite performance of RDJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this
Yeah.
one is just like,
Yeah.
this is classic. Good go-to RDJ.
Hell yeah. That's
Hey,
great.
hey guys, what's the Energizer Bunny's empathetic brother's name? The
I don't know, Jimmy.
Sympathizer Bunny.
Oh, my God.
That's a Today joke, listener.
And then where does the Equalizer film?
The Equalizer Bunny.
Denzel just murders both.
Yeah.
The Duracell?
The
The
Duracell.
Duralizer.
The Duralizer.
Okay, cool. Anything else? Any other items of mention? Anything that took you by
I
surprise?
can't wait to watch Jennifer Lopez's Atlas after this.
Don't say things like that.
It's because he's sick. He's still recovering. It's a good movie to watch while you're.
They'll get back together, right?
Are they on the outs? I
Yeah.
hear
They're
on the-
divorced again.
I don't know.
Is that?
You know, we care here at the
I
Real
know.
Debaters.
I don't know.
We care
are
about
we-
pop culture news.
From what I
Do
read,
we care about their relationships or just
snap-
what they do on screen?
I read people every day.
From what I read, they'll
On the
snap a
toilet.
photo of them either not together without a ring, and then they're divorcing. But I don't know if anything's been actually.
Do you
either
like? They
party.
can't because everyone's gonna be like, "I told you so." Like that's a.
I don't think J-Lo
mean-
cares. This is like marriage 6 or 7. Like, who
But I
cares
feel
at that
bad
point?
for
Elizabeth Taylor stopped giving a fuck after like 3. I mean,
Like-
how many times is that woman married? Like 7 times, I think. I don't think
No,
they care.
Not to care, but like,
You're
is-
so rich, you don't fucking care.
have you seen how many
You
pictures?
can't cage a beautiful bird like Jennifer Lopez. You gotta let her fly.
Yeah, she's a fly girl. She's a
You can't
literal
cage a
fly
beautiful
girl.
bird like
Gotta
Ben
let it fly.
Affleck.
You
Have
can't
guys-
cage a fly girl.
Have you seen Ben tripping with coffee? Have you seen
Yeah.
all the
Oh,
clips
yeah.
of Ben?
He's
falling?
just like us.
right.
Yeah.
It makes you feel so
That's
good.
a Dunkin' Donuts ad. That's all
that-
that
it
is.
is.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
just like
You
us.
gotta get that gene
just
pool
like
out there.
us.
You know.
Charles, how about you, man? What did you
So,
put in front of your eyes?
funny enough, just because Martin mentioned the Sympathizer
Yeah.
and with it having like set Vietnam, I've been replaying this game called Mafia 3, and it's set during
Charles.
it's set during the 70s, and it's like a big theme is like the character you play is just come back from the war from Vietnam fighting in it, and he's black, so like the whole history of what they did with soldiers in that time.
The experiments. And,
New Orleans too, right? New Orleans.
Yeah. And it's like in South Park when Chef's like, remember the plan is like you set them first, and then that's literally what they did in Vietnam too as well. So
Ooh.
yeah. And what's neat is the game will actually show real footage and real images and stuff. So like just it's just wild because like it's a time era, obviously, like I don't know a lot about, and I don't know.
No, I mean I know about it in the movies, but I know the movies aren't always.
Yeah, the Americans believe they
Charlie
won
Wilson's
it, and
War. Not Charlie Wilson's War. That's
Tom
Charlie
Hanks'
Wilson's War was Vietnam.
No.
That was Afghans and Russians.
Oh my God.
Listen, what's the fuck?
Saving Private Ryan.
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Charlie Wilson's War. Interesting too. To confuse.
Forrest
Oh,
Gump
God.
is what I meant
Forrest
to say.
Gump. Yeah. There you go.
That's where I was trying to go with my Vietnam War movie.
Interesting.
I thought you were gonna go with Mel Gibson's "We Were Soldiers."
Yes. Well,
There-
hey,
yeah. Anyways, but
The
like
inner workings
what are
of
you-
your
the
mind
fuck are
other
you
than
watching?
Mike
the
Long.
way okay, what about let's get to that. Shit. What to I guess Fall Guy.
Yeah.
Just because it's the freshest
I
in
guess
my mind.
so.
I saw Furiosa, I saw Fall Guy, both are incredible. Watch both.
It's a good time to be going to the movies.
It really is,
We're
man.
getting
It's
beautiful,
blockbusters are back.
giant blockbusters
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
aren't
We
Marvel
are.
movies.
Yeah.
we are.
Oh,
Yeah.
and like you know how
And
they
people are going.
George Miller said this before the movie came out, very smart with Furiosa. So he said there was a action sequence that took them
78 days.
17 days. 17 days. I think they filmed it over 17 days is
I'll
what
fact
he said.
check it. Go on.
It's something ridiculous. But when you watch the movie,
Unpaid intern, pull
it
that up.
is fucking crazy. It is at least a 20-minute long scene, and it literally is like it reminded me of a video game because it's insane. And then you're like, oh, and literally the characters take a breath, and you as the audience take a breath, and then okay, level 2, send in these guys, and
If
then
it was
it's like,
2007, it would have gotten a game.
oh
I'll
man,
I'll
like
cut you
literally
off.
like
15-minute action scene filmed for 78 days.
78 days.
Woo!
Holy shit. And dude, it makes sense. Like you watch it
Yeah.
and you're literally like, I felt like I was in an amusement ride. Like
That's
it was
incredible.
crazy. It was wild. I love that this guy is almost 80 years old and he's still making
Doing
movies
this.
like this.
He did Happy Feet. What the fuck?
Yeah. He doesn't give a fuck,
It
man.
is really weird to,
And-
to
and you
say
know
that
what's-
out
His
loud.
filmography is bizarre.
I think his kids may have asked him to be like, Dad, we love penguins. Will
You
you?"
want- can you
What's
make a
neat
kids
is
movie?
Yeah.
I think he's smart. What he's doing is he's sprinkled a little. There is, like, this isn't really a spoiler just because it's called Mad Max, or Furiosa.
Yeah, it's her
a Mad
prequel.
Max saga.
Yeah.
There's a sprinkle of Mad Max in it.
Cool.
Like, and it's an allude to it. You don't see a face. It's a very iconic shot that he does.
Is it someone that
and
looks like Tina
everyone,
Turner?
literally, you're in the theater and someone's like, Mad Max? Because you're like, I think that's what he's meaning to do. Anyways, but what I think he's doing, especially getting closer to 80, is he's been having talks with a lot of filmmakers that want to continue his legacy, essentially.
Yeah. Teach,
And
please.
by doing Furiosa, he's showing this doesn't need to just be Mad Max doesn't even need to be in the movies now.
This universe is insane.
Right. This
Yeah.
universe is so gigantic. They literally call it the Wasteland. What was amazing about this movie, there's a Mad Max video game. That video game was the first time that I saw world building where you see the other camps. Because you don't really see a lot of that in...
You know about them, but
You
you
know
don't-
about
yeah.
them. Always in dialogue.
Gasolines
Right.
and the like and all that
Furiosa
stuff,
is
yeah.
not only a origin story of her, but it's a world building of like...
You're talking about how the world went to shit? Like
so
how it becomes a wasteland?
doesn't show that, but he does what he always does. The credits are different. As they're opening up, you hear audio of the news. Blah, blah, blah happening,
Yeah,
but you hear
yeah,
more
yeah.
closer to when communications break. And you're like, oh, shit. And then it just opens up Wasteland. So you're like, holy shit. But it actually takes you into those camps. And what was neat was the only time I've seen them is in the video games, and they look like the video games. So I'm like, I don't know if this is something George Miller was like, you know, a consultant on everything and
Probably.
whatnot. It has to be.
I'd assume
But
so.
It's
but
incredible.
as
It's
someone
so
who,
cool.
Who comes to the games now? You're that much more jazzed to see it because
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's
It's-
my world.
I was like, I'd be like, Claudia, none of this makes sense, but this is like they showed this in the game, and like, oh my god,
How
I
is
didn't
this
think they would
happening?
show this in the movie. This
George
is
Miller
insane.
games?
Yeah,
Is he
yeah.
gamer?
And they show you like Immortan Joe younger, like earlier
Yeah,
in his reign.
Yeah, yeah.
And they bring actors back that you don't expect from Mad Max that make sense because it's like, oh yeah, they were in They were in that like oh man,
They would be around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool, and they time jump in unexpected ways. Like I would say, I think George Miller said the movie starts with Furiosa being about 8, and it goes to when she's 28. And
so like you jump from 8 to
you
your
get 20,
mid-teens, and then
20 years in this world, basically.
Wow.
And it's fucking Chris Hemsworth. Oh my God, make this man a
nose,
villain more.
Does the nose play?
Dude, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Put him as a villain in
weird
more
seeing
things.
him Australian.
Right?
And fully
Actually,
being
no.
Yeah.
Australian.
The what's the one he did, the special op series on Netflix?
Is he Australian?
He's
Oh,
Australian.
Extraction?
The Extractor.
Extractor.
But nobody's.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
But
I
he's
heard they're pretty good.
Australian.
But yeah, and he was amazing. He was great. Anya Taylor-Joy, like all the casting, everything.
Anya.
George Miller is just I can't believe this guy is almost 80 years old.
Side
It's
note
wild.
to how he made it. So he's got this new virtual reality toy that he makes where they literally VR the whole movie. Like they
Sweet.
Yeah.
they use real time. And not real time. What's the video game rendering tool?
like Unreal.
Unreal
Like the
Engine.
Unreal Engine.
He has they call it Toy Box, and what it does is it lets them like stunt out and like world build before they even have to like
That's
go
helpful.
and bring
Like,
something to it.
they always-
which is why it's so easy for him, like the guy talks about making these worlds with such ease. And
Yeah.
you're like, how this is insane big world filmmaking.
Yeah.
And this is how they do it. They take it right before they have to actually make it,
Yeah.
so that they're already blueprinted out.
Easy.
And what's funny too is Hideo Kojima, so one of the biggest game developers in the world, Metal Gear Solid. He's a huge fan of George Miller, always been. Says
Yeah.
it's one of his biggest
He's just
inspirations.
a good fan of good movies.
He loves it.
Yeah.
He's the guy's incredible. George Miller, like, so he's on the red carpet. They fanboy with each other, and George Miller's like, I don't know what I am gonna like. I don't know what I have to do, but I'll do it. But you need to make a Mad Max video game. And then Hideo Kojima's like, you see him, he just lights up.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like, and the world is like, please let that happen.
On it.
Like, yeah, let this man make a Mad Max.
Going
video
away
game.
for 3 years now.
Oh my
See when
God.
I come back with
Yeah.
the game.
It'd be so cool. It'd be so cool. Anyways, like, I'm excited because I do believe that George Miller is.
Give us one more.
I want
Just
him to do
make
it.
it for
I know.
one more.
I think he's going to
Yeah.
do at least one more. Because you can tell how much he loves making these movies. But I do love that he's really opening it up for the right filmmakers to start continuing it.
And there
Could
isn't
we-
a bad
could-
movie in that whole.
No, there isn't.
No,
Every
they're
single
all great.
Thunderdome is the one that's a little bit slow.
Yeah, but once it gets to Thunderdome, it's pretty fucking awesome.
You're in.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty
the
awesome.
most quotable of all the Mad Max movies.
You're right
yeah.
about that.
And in the
Two
game,
men
they,
enter, one man leave.
in the
Right?
game,
Yeah,
they
that's it.
actually you
That's
get
it.
captured, you get fucked up by another rival group, and when you wake up, it's inside the Thunderdome, and it's like from the movie. It's
I
great.
always
I'm
think
just
it's
counting
great.
out days till Amazon picks up this for a show.
Yep.
You know, what's so
right.
cool.
That's a good point.
And
HBO, somebody pick
and
it
they
up.
can do so many things, right? Like, again, because it doesn't have to just be about Mad Max, it can literally, like, they could do what they did with A Quiet Place, where it's like day one, where they
Yeah.
could show
Well,
what was the wasteland.
Do we
trend.
want?
That's just Australia.
Do we want?
Yeah, it's the Outback.
Do we want the story right that gives birth to Mel's character? Like, do
Right.
we want him as a
And you
young
could.
boy?
And you could, for
Right,
sure.
because when you meet him
Yeah.
in Mad Max, he's already out in the world. Like,
Yeah.
it's
And
not day one for him; it's day one for us. But he's
and his story's just
in
tragic,
it's
right?
just tracking and tragic, and,
Yeah.
and all those things.
That
Yeah.
dog lived.
Or
I don't
whatever
care.
happens to him after whatever happens to him after the movies. Like what happens to him after
That
the
would
last
be
Mad
because Tom
Even after-
Hardy's character is
He just kind of walks.
Yeah,
out
after
into the
Furiosa,
distance.
he's just doing that dramatic, disappearing.
It's like turn around.
The Assassin's Creed disappearing
he's
into the
backing
crowd
into
thing,
people.
right? And that's
It's the
Mad
Incredible
Max's
Hulk
thing.
walk.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah.
totally. And that's what's interesting is like it almost seems like Mad Max now might even just be a character that connects
Enters,
these things
yeah.
because he seems all of his movies are like I'm a drifter, and then someone needs help, he helps them in a major way, and then he's like, all right, alone again, back into the wasteland, and that's how
Mad
every
Max is
movie
basically
can end.
Apocalypse Rambo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, right. So,
It's
I
very
want an
true.
origin story for the guy who drives the propeller bike
oh my god,
in Road
my God.
Warrior.
Oh, I
That's
want
great.
I want the origin
Guitar
story
guy
of
from
the
Mad
guitar
Fury
guy
Road.
from
Oh.
Fury Road.
By the way, he rogue ones this like the way the movie ends. You can put on Fury Road, and it literally is a continuing
That's
shot.
fucking awesome.
Like it's
Like,
another
someone's
hill
gonna
in the
do-
desert, and it's just starting again.
Oh yeah, like someone's gonna do an edit on YouTube. I can see it already, where it's just them continuously going
Fuck
because he
yeah.
ends it on a shot that Fury Road starts on.
Okay, so
So the idea is it just
you assume, yeah.
yeah.
I got
brilliant.
for time's sake, I want
Suddenly we're hard on time.
No, I don't want to go around the room again. But like, how many? What the fuck is it? How many silver cans of spray paint?
Chrome. What is it?
Yeah,
The,
chrome.
Chrome.
You can't get into
yeah.
Valhalla without
God.
it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Those war
I'll
boys.
give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah. My only thing with it, my only little thing is the ending drags just a bit.
Could have ended early.
There's I get it. I get what he was going for, because in a video game, totally. But in a movie, it was one of those things where I was like, they're supposed to, one last speech before, like,
Yeah.
let's get to it. And I could have done without. But other than that, yeah, movie's pretty flawless.
My
like,
second question is: so Fall Guy was good?
Yeah. Fall Guy.
Fall Guys for people who love the way movies are made.
Yep, that's what I was telling Mike.
Yeah,
Literally,
that's
I give
what
it a
it
hard
is.
8 out of 10.
The two
for
of you
sure.
stepped on the deck today. We sat down. You both said you saw Fall Guy. I looked at John. I said, "We're watching."
And it's
it
funny,
tonight."
but
Like,
I
it's
know you'll
hilarious.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I know you will.
I know I will. I did the thing where I think I exposed myself to too much promotion of it. And was like, I'm sick of this movie.
Totally.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you guys have both been like, no. This is for you. This is what you
It
should
really,
see.
and
Like,
they
Oh,
only
yeah.
left it in theaters for 2 weeks, and they're like, "Why are people seeing it? Guess we'll put it on video on demand
Yeah.
now."
I don't understand.
If
why
it
they did
is
that.
still playing, even if it's like a random 4 p.m., I want to try, just because it is like
You gotta.
you got to see it on the big screen. Like, there's so many good
well,
stunts that is fucking nuts.
It's done with. Charles, how good is it?
Again, like Jimmy said, I think we can agree. Like, it's really unexpectedly awesome.
Yeah.
And it's anyone that loves movies, especially like the movies we grew up with. Like I was telling Mike, they pay homage to stunts from the 60s all the way to now. And they show you, like, they have a stunt where it's like, we have 17 cameras on this. One gets
Yeah.
damaged. Don't worry about it. But then they have one where they're
We
like,
gotta
we
get the
have one
shot.
take.
Yeah.
But
And we have one camera. And you
what
see that.
What I
and
love
it's so cool.
when you said that is that now people know that there's 17 cameras in a shot sometimes.
It just
Sometimes
feels
it's-
real.
It's fucked.
You know, like,
but it makes sense, because when you see the stunt on the scale, you're like, they don't want to have to film this multiple times.
No.
Yeah,
This
no.
is
Everybody wants a one and done on a stunt.
Totally.
Right? Like,
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Can we do this 5 times just to make sure nobody's
Oh.
at Fincher's not unless it's Fincher. The
Yeah.
only guy wanting
Yeah, but
12
he's a
takes of
lunatic.
fucking stunt.
He's a lunatic. The camera in the so one of the big stunts is the car having to do the and they
A
actually
roll.
they actually made the world record for it.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so they
They beat Travis Pastrana or whoever's record.
Yeah, that's right. And they say it in the movie when they do
They
it.
beat
They're like,
Pastrami?
I think we made a world record. Like, they say it in the movie, and they did, and they
actually did it.
Gosling gave it to the stuntman, like in real life, when he got honored with it from Guinness. So
Did you guys? I heard
That's
there's
incredible.
it's so cool, and they did that for a movie, man. Like,
8 rolls.
One of the craziest stunts, ever was the
Good.
cliffhanger. I don't know if you guys know about that, but the cliffhanger, I think it's in Cliffhanger when they have the 2 planes. They have 2 planes in the sky.
Yeah.
And they zip line from one plane to the other, and the stuntman actually did it.
Christ.
Yeah, I think that's still to date is like considered. I don't know how Guinness labels it, but I label it as like the most fucked stunt
It is.
ever
That's
in the
what
world.
they call it in the record
yeah,
book, I think.
it's fucking crazy.
I think
someone
that's what
thought of
Tom
doing that
Tom Cruise probably tries to beat that every day.
in
he probably
space.
Beats
He
off
wants to do that in
that
space.
knife
probably.
thing he did is probably the craziest thing I've ever seen.
The knife.
It was Mission Impossible or something where he has that knife
Oh, right by the
Oh,
eye.
just
that
a
was a real-
centimeter
Yeah,
away
yeah.
from his eye.
Yeah.
That is-
Incredible.
What about
Yeah.
the wingsuit one? Remember the wingsuit in Transformers? When
Yeah.
they were doing it in downtown
Yeah,
Chicago?
true.
Yeah.
Crazy one.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. But no,
They
it's-
deserve Oscars.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
do, they do.
and they even do it in the movie, which is great. They do a beautiful, like, basically, like, it's pathetic. The Oscars makes no kind of effort.
They
in
gave
any
us a
ways.
thank you.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, and if someone dies, they'll hopefully throw them in that.
And then sometimes they
Thing.
just don't.
Yeah, no, they straight up don't.
Yeah, I think they don't let stunt people get much. And okay, so like let's play devil's advocate for just 1 second.
Uh-oh.
Like, if you were to show the stunt category, I think the Oscars need to be cajoled a little bit with the idea of we're showing where the insanity comes from. You can't take someone who doesn't know how to do this on the regular and put them in that scene. So you can only push Ryan Gosling so far before you need a stunt double.
Yep.
And somebody is risking their life.
Yeah,
So
that's what that means.
That's what that means,
Yep.
is that they are taking over
Yep.
to make this for
You're the
all
fall
of
guy.
us. You're the fall guy.
Yep.
Exactly. And the TV show
It's basically
alone,
you're expendable.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
if you
expendable.
die, we can keep making the movie.
So-
Yay!
That's literally what that means.
Break.
Yeah.
But if I was the Oscars, I know the Oscars are like, well, now we're showing that people don't do all the jobs. We're not fucking idiots, guys. We know that not everybody is getting into these scenes unless it's Tom Cruise and a very small select group of actors who just say more money and I guess I'll try.
Yeah.
Right? So there's that politics shit.
Yep.
That as much as I want to see it, I can see why the Oscars need to have their shit stroked. To be like, all right, fine, we'll let you
Boo.
in. I'm not saying, hey, listen, I don't like it. I want to see stunts up there. I think there should be, like, the stunt thing they're doing at Universal for promotion for the film where all the guys from the movie.
It was phenomenal.
And, like, the shit they were doing on the red carpet where they would pull them through and do the wire thing.
Please go see it or we're not going to get cool movies anymore.
Man, and it's like, it's very, what's cool, too, is the ending I thought was brilliant. And this is something you don't see a lot in movies. We grew up in the generation, again, I think it was a 90s thing where they would do blooper reel at the end during the credits.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So this one is, it's all the behind-the-scenes footage of them doing the stunts.
It's a little extra treat.
And it's showing how far, what you're talking about, how far Gosling goes and when that guy takes over.
Yeah.
And it's so neat because it's all their footage of them filming it.
It's showing the magic.
And that's how the Oscars should do it, is when they're like, for best stunt, like, they should show
how
the BTS and then the render of
that's
the
a good
final.
idea.
And you should get the stunt choreographer, the stunt person,
everybody goes
everyone involved in
the
it.
director,
Yeah.
like everybody,
even the harness team, like all of that,
all of
everyone's involved.
That's what I want.
The guy
to
who
see
sets
that.
you on fire.
Yeah, the guy who puts you, like the team that puts you out,
With the
everything,
extinguishers.
Like, that all needs to be seen.
And it should, because like, and what's crazy is, like, nothing against other departments, but you don't hear a lot of costume designers risking their life to get the Oscar or to make the costumes. You don't hear a lot of, cinematographers like risking their life
wow.
to get. Well,
Have you heard of have you
So
heard of
it's
an
Alec
Alec Baldwin-led movie?
Guys, it's been great.
but what I'm saying is,
Charles
like,
pays attention to zero news.
so
Down.
yeah, I didn't even mean to do that.
I'm just fucking with you.
I was hoping you
But
would
like,
say
what
that.
I mean is, like, so many guys, so many
I-
stuntmen and women die in this. It's
Yes,
sad.
it's always
Serious
those who
injury.
die.
And they
Yeah.
make a
Yeah.
serious effort to kind of sweep it under the rug.
Statistically speaking, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's kind
It
of
is
insane.
the most dangerous department.
one of them, I would say for sure.
It is where the most injuries.
And if
happen.
Alec Baldwin's on set, all of them.
Yes, exactly.
Every department's at risk.
Insurance rates have gone up when Alec Baldwin steps on
They will
set.
not do a 30 Rock reunion. That's
Yeah,
off.
no, I'm
Protect
just.
Tina.
We're just fucking around. I know exactly what you're saying.
No, but yeah. It's just it's a little alarming. It
it
is
is
a little
very
wild.
alarming that it doesn't have an award.
Yeah.
And they're a huge
Insane.
part of movies.
stunt-
They are given, like, if you don't know, like, when the stunt happens, the stunt director is given the set. The director goes, I'm out. I'm going for lunch.
Yeah.
You are in charge
Yeah.
of everybody's safety. Everyone listens to you. Everything that you do, we will follow. Like, we won't question. We trust. All our safety is put into you. That is how much the stunt department is given. No, costume doesn't get that. Cinematography doesn't get that. So the respect that goes into the stunt department doesn't get seen.
And again, it's because
Another part of the making of the movie is how much faith and trust goes into these people.
Yeah.
Where, like, anything you're shooting, fuck, you can shoot it. Like, it costs money, takes time, it's not easy. And to get it artistic is one thing, but you can do it. The stunt team's like, oh, we got to build stuff. We got to manufacture things. We got to re-rig things. Things like, as someone who rents to the stunt team, who someone just recently rented to a possible 87 North production being filmed in Winnipeg.
What?
Classic us.
Right? Who has direct knowledge. I know what the equipment is doing and being used and how it's being wired in and roped and when it's still rigged and why shit's on it. I don't know as much as these guys know, but there's so much that goes into it. 12 booms. I put 12 booms on set for this one film.
That's wild.
For one stunt.
Yeah, oh yeah.
12 86-foot booms. It's nuts what goes down.
People
And
could die.
I
And these
digress.
movies really show you why, like, they have to try and do it in one take, and how wild it is that it starts with them drawing a storyboard of an explosion car going over
How can we
it.
do this?
Yeah. And it's funny because I laughed because I remember one of the Jackass movies. They're like, sometimes the way that we pitch a thing is we draw it. and then we fax it to each other, and then Trey will be like, yeah, we can do this. And I'm like, that's kind of stunted sometimes, is they literally storyboard it, and then they go to the stunt guy, and they're like, yeah.
Is this
Can
practical?
we?
Yeah, like,
Can we?
how many people can we have on fire at once? Like, that's a literal question they have to get.
11.
Yeah. I will not do more than 11.
Okay. How many
People on fire.
How many people on fire? Perfect.
You know what? I'll go 8.5. 8.5 out of 10.
I love
I'll
it.
say.
I can't wait to watch it tonight.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. I'm
So-
gonna go downstairs.
So
I'm
the
gonna,
half, is his legs on fire or the upper body?
The half is just the penis.
It's
that's
Ron
what the
Jeremy.
Penis is
It's
on
Ron
that's
Jeremy.
the Ron Jeremy special.
and it's probably on fire from
Full circle.
19
Oh, yeah.
sexual diseases.
That thing never
Good for
stops.
us.
Good. We
Yeah.
brought that back. I'm
Good
impressed.
for us.
You
Go
want
team.
You
And
want
therefore good for the world.
Someone asked me what I watched.
What'd you watch, Michael?
Michael, what did you watch?
What'd you fucking watch?
Thanks, guys. What did I
Michael, just
watch?
tell us.
I
Get it
have
out.
watched so many things. Okay, so what's topical? Survivor was fucking fantastic.
Finale happened.
Finale
So
happened.
good.
What did you
Survivor-
think? Did the person who should have won?
Yes, we can now talk about it.
At first, I didn't think so, but by the end, yeah.
I have
Yeah.
never seen the. I refuse to watch the portion of the show where it's like vote for me. I skip it every time.
Really?
I don't
I can
like.
see why.
It's pandering. It's
Yeah.
pathetic. Sometimes.
But you don't think it ever actually works?
I know it works.
This one was
But
savage.
I don't like it. It's gross to me. It's gross to watch.
Making them beg.
Making them big, right? And like this one, I was like, we have to watch. We have to watch because everybody's a game player on this one. Everybody
Yeah.
showed up to Survivor to be like people were like, that was my move. I was going to do that. People were arguing moves. That never happens. You don't see people knowing that was the right move and two people arguing over the decision for it. You never see one person given their dream dish from Applebee's.
Oh my God, I wanted
I
to
heard
murder
about
Liz.
that.
They're never
Liz is
give-
the worst.
Q doesn't give Liz the whiskey burger that she orders with her kid every Wednesday when they watch
Jimmy,
Survivor.
Can I just
He
let you
robbed her of the whiskey burger.
know? Can I also let
Stupid.
you know this is a contestant that said, I'm a millionaire, so I don't need the money. I'm just here for the Survivor
Oh my
experience.
God.
Yes.
And then when was denied Applebee's, was like,
Lost.
you could have saved me. You had the cure for cancer. And you said, no, you're going to die of cancer. That's
She
how
actually,
she
if I
treated it.
can
Wow.
quote
That's
her,
how she treated it. Yeah.
she said, "I'm pissed."
That's what I would say to Claudia. I'm pissed. Jeff was just like, because you know how Jeff is. He's amazing. He's
Yeah.
like,
But he pokes.
Liz, I can see you're angry right now. Just tell me how you
Speak
feel.
on that.
What are
And
you
she's
go-
like,
Liz? What are you
"Ugh."
going through at this
Yeah,
moment?
and she
that
just
you've
lost
been-
it.
Yeah,
And
Q,
she-
you fucked me, Q.
And it was all because she's like, this is a tradition I have with my daughter. And the whole time,
Yeah.
I'm in Q's head, and I'm like, why the fuck do I care about any of this?
Why is that your tradition?
Jimmy? If I just may, she also went on the island saying 98% of food I'm allergic to.
Yeah.
They actually wrote in one episode where they MacGuffined her rice.
What does that mean?
They somehow made
yeah.
it so that she would agree to take rice instead of compete
Yeah.
because they were afraid for
She'd
her
die.
health.
Oh.
They were like,
Yeah.
okay, we didn't know she could go this long. She's gone this long. She's lost 14% of her body weight. Like it was but and then
if she doesn't eat, she's going to
Okay.
die.
but the one thing she can eat from Applebee's is the burger.
And then they were
That
like,
doesn't make any
I
sense.
know.
What they did was they obviously asked them in their questionnaire
So stupid.
what their favorite things are.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
somehow, what are the odds? What are the odds of knowing Liz's burger is the one burger she can not only eat, but she eats with her child during
It
Survivor?
makes no sense,
Like that's
Jimmy.
a
She's
personal thing that
one
you
of-
don't
I just
know.
don't
She's one of the
They
worst
scrub her
people
fucking
I've
social media.
She's one of the worst people I've ever seen in a reality
I've ever
show.
seen.
I
Oh,
hated
that was
her.
planned for sure. Come on now. Like,
Oh,
they-
I
they-
agree.
hated-
Martin's totally
what do you
right.
do?
Martin's
Yeah.
totally right.
Oh, of course it is. Like I hated her from the beginning. Like I just dude. So like, yeah, the whole rice thing, and also her allergies don't add up. They just don't. They don't make sense.
That's gotta be a
somebody
lie.
won a challenge. And she was being considered to be like taken for the dinner, the special
feast,
dinner.
yeah.
She literally goes, "Oh, don't pick me. I'm allergic to whatever." Like, because they're like, we're serving pasta, and everyone was excited, and she's like this, and then someone's like, "I
Don't-
mean, Liz is the runner-up," and she's like, "No, don't pick me. I'm allergic. You should pick him." And then they're like,
Okay.
"Okay, him."
Ridiculous.
And I'm like, How are you on this? This doesn't make any sense.
So
Why are you
she,
here?
How'd she live?
And
Like,
then
what did
she got
eat?
voted out and
She
cried
lived off of
and yelled at everyone again like she did at Q because she's like, "You played my move."
Then why
Again.
didn't you play it?
Thank you. Yeah. Because you're entitled. That's a woman that says,
At least she
I'm a
didn't win. I
millionaire
think it's a
already and
better
I don't
thing.
need the money. Clearly.
It's better for the world.
these are
I agree.
these and many other moments are highlight moments of this
It was
year's
great.
Survivor. It was a great Survivor. Now, Kenzie won, and Kenzie right off the hop,
Ugh.
two things. One, I didn't like her.
No.
Two, it was because she reminded me of an ex-girlfriend, and like
Same. His ex. No, I'm just kidding.
huh?
like I don't know if that person is listening. She probably isn't, but if she is, it just reminded me of.
She's not listening.
Well, okay, all right, fine, fair enough. But if she is, I'm
And
not
if
going
she
to mention
is,
her
we
name.
don't like you very
No,
much.
no, no.
You
What I'm
broke
gonna say is-
Michael's heart.
No, I broke her heart.
Oh, okay.
Okay, first of all, I broke her heart.
Wow.
And second, it reminds me of a time of when I was a fucking asshole.
Survivor.
No, Kenzie.
Oh.
So I couldn't like Kenzie because it just reminded me of how big of a shitheel I am. And as it went, yeah, I will say Kenzie did go along with some votes. Kenzie did hide in the masses for a while.
Kenzie
but,
was that person
but
that you're like,
shush for a
I'm
second.
not going to vote away because they're not a threat. But then she snuck up.
You keep her totally.
Yeah.
But her answers to her questions, like
Yeah.
the fact that she got to where she got, she was picked to do fire. She was stacked against her. It was her and Liz going fire at the end. She didn't want to get picked because the guy who picked her was suffering from panic attacks, and he picked her, who stayed up with him every night when he didn't sleep, when his night terrors got to be too much. Ben relied on Kenzie, and Ben picked Kenzie to do fire against Liz because he had more confidence in her to do fire than Charlie. So Charlie gets dragged along to final three, okay? And they sit down and they all get asked all these questions, and everybody from the jury gets one question each, and Kenzie did a perfect fucking 10. Every answer was diplomatic. Every answer was honest. Every answer was thorough. When they're like, what are you going to do with the money? When Q was like, what are you going to do with the money?
And Q's crazy,
Q's
man.
nuts. Q fucks up
Q
everything.
is
Q fucked up
nuts.
three tribals back to back.
Q also ruined hide and seek for me for life.
Yeah.
For life.
Because he's like, this is how I learn about people, is
It
hide
was-
and seek.
And he, like, what
I know
was-
how you hide. I know where you hide.
It was
This is
also
my southern
like
Mississippi horrible accent, by the
it
way.
was the most we ever heard Kenzie talk to.
Yeah.
And it was also like, wow, like Kenzie, I had no idea.
What are you going to do with the money, Kenzie?
you- yeah.
And she's like, this is going to be for me. Two other people were like charity and like family.
Ivy
She's
League
like,
school.
yeah, all this
I want to
other
use
shit.
it to help me go. I just graduated from an Ivy League school. Now I want it to help me to open up my law firm. And it was like,
And she's like, I run a salon. The salon I run I don't make money off of it. I just do it so other people have a job.
Yeah.
So she's like,
and she's also been working. She's like, I dropped out of high school.
Yeah,
I've been
like
working,
working
since I was
since she was, like,
15.
everything
It
she
was
said.
incredible.
It was just like, and it was
Oh,
between
what sold me was the most selfish thing I've ever done in my life is go to Survivor for me.
Yeah.
Like to take time
She
off from
left.
my job. This is the most selfish thing I've ever done. I was like, the most selfish thing you've ever done is go willingly to an island and starve yourself. You deserve this money. That's fucking crazy. You should take this money.
I think Survivor in this new era, I saw 47's trailer. I don't
Yeah, I
think
did
it's gonna
too.
be even anywhere near as good as, but I didn't know this would be as good as this
There you
was.
go.
I think it's
But,
hard
like-
to say. It's at a point now where when you get into the numbers of 40s, people are playing being like, I've been watching every episode. So like you have all these strategists, but then they get there and that's what the experiment is.
Yeah.
It's because this season had a lot of that.
Can
a
you
lot
apply
of
it?
people.
This season had people who all came to play, and
Yeah.
sometimes people come to fuck around. Sometimes people come, like Ben's like, I'm going to play an emotional game. I'm like, nobody plays that. That's old school.
Yeah, that's
You
it,
gotta
yeah.
you gotta
That's what
prove
everyone
You
why
said.
gotta
you're-
do it. You
That's
gotta-
what
yeah.
everyone said.
You have
though.
to break.
Yeah.
You have to break bonds. You have to
Ben didn't get a
backstab. You have
vote.
to.
Yeah.
You have to make people bend the knee and like do things that you normally wouldn't do in everyday situations.
You have to play a game, and
Yeah.
that's really
And Ben didn't play. Ben just
No.
wanted to rock on.
yeah.
He's a musician who
And
lived in his parents' basement.
I get it, but I get what you're saying. That's old. It's because it's like if no one ever did that, if you were the first genuine person to come in and use that strategy, sure, but someone's done it already, and it's
Yeah.
not a strategy. It's just like I'm gonna vibe, and you're like, no, man, like we're playing a game.
There's money
and
on
he's
the
like,
line.
no, like I'm gonna vibe though, and you're like, I get it, you're cool, but like there's a game, you gotta fucking play the game, man. Like,
You know what I would do?
What was that?
I would be the first person on that show to diarrhea on the fire.
That would be a
Everyone's gonna
first.
remember
Nobody's done that before.
Season 40 whatever's winner, but they're always gonna remember the guy who diarrheaed on the
yeah,
fire.
that's a good
They-
point.
You know what? He's right.
Be
They
memorable.
do remember the guy who said he was a secret agent and nobody believed him. They do.
That was real. Like,
that
he
was
like
real.
actually said that.
Yeah, he did. Like
Wow.
every tribal.
What an
Um,
idiot.
They don't. They they do remember the woman who every time she was interviewed, she had a new job and a new profession.
That's
She's like, I'm a helicopter
funny.
pilot. I'm also a chef, and I'm a cobbler. Like she just
All
does,
on the
like-
helicopter. That's
like,
so cool.
But like she would just make up new shit every
You
time.
remember Richard Hatch?
Yes, we have the naked guy. We
Yeah.
do not have
The
Mar-
most genuine winner ever.
Ever.
guys. I say we all pool our money, and we nominate Martin the Defecator, and
To
we
just
get him
go?
to go.
The defecator.
Could you imagine if Jeff's like,
Just
so
for-
Martin, why are you here? And he's like, I'm gonna shit in that fire, Jeff.
And nobody believes him. Nobody believes him. And then he goes, and then he
Jeff
just
would be outraged.
He shits in the fire, looks in the camera, and he was like, "Real Debaters Podcast."
Yeah.
And then like
That's it. Done.
that's it.
And stay tuned for Martin in the tub after.
Well, I clean
Washing
myself.
himself.
Defecator?
The defecator.
I know it's a wrestling name more than it's like
Because
That's
it
not even a
usually
wrestling name.
the defecator.
Could you imagine Survivor 50? Yeah, the guy shit in the fire.
We don't know why.
He
It's-
lost his mind.
So when they have their their diary room kind of thing, and it
Diarrhea
shows their,
room?
diarrhea room, and it has their name and it has their job underneath it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it would say Martin Navarro, and then it would say "Here to shit on the fire."
Yes, they would probably
Here to
do
fuck
that.
shit up.
Yeah. Here to burn my asshole.
I watched the season 45, by the way. That was funny. It had two people that were like, vote me out.
Yep.
Just
Oh.
vote
They wanted
me
to
out.
go home.
I'm miserable.
And like that really
I
fucked
fucking
shit
hate
up.
this. Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
were both the people that they wanted to keep so that they
Yeah.
could vote somebody else
Oh.
Yeah.
out.
And they were both like, literally, and it happened at the tribunal. They had a game plan, and then they go, and it gets to them. Jeff's like, so what's going on in your head? And then they just start crying, and they're like, I fucking hate it here. Like, this is cool, but I fucking hate this.
I did not.
I want to
plan
watch
that.
this on my
It's
couch.
Not something
Yeah.
I thought of.
Yeah,
I
it's
do
funny.
want to talk about the movie that I watched because we did talk about it before, and there was some funny
Oh,
things that
yes.
I said, so we need to rehash them for a second. I did watch. I was like, okay, I'm going to watch more Oscar movies from last year's Oscar list that I didn't finish because I want to have a complete belt, right? I want to have every notch in the belt of every Oscar movie. So we've been doing that. We've been watching stuff, right? Poor Things. We're almost watched, but we watched this instead.
God damn it,
Oh my
Mike.
God,
I
watch
know.
Poor Things. It's
I-
great.
I
know.
told
I've
him how
seen it.
great it is.
Yeah, no,
We saw it together.
We saw it together. It was
Oh,
for
that's
Shauna. It's
right.
not for me.
That's
Oh.
right. You guys did
So
see
then
it. That's
Shauna's
right.
like, let's watch a short movie. So we watched The Zone of Interest, which won for Best Sound at the Oscars.
Yes.
Which is the story
Does it
of...
make sense that it got Best Sound?
Oh, it makes perfect sense.
Okay, cool.
Absolute perfect. It is a auditory experience.
Oh, wow.
One might say that you would pay $80 to go feel this in a art gallery somewhere. Like
oh,
it
I see.
could-
Like, I see what you mean. Yeah,
it's got more
Wow.
depth to it.
Wow.
So it is 4 years after Rudolf Haas and his wife have started Auschwitz. He has been accredited with all of the building of it, and he's actually being pitched on the circular burn chamber, where as it heats up, it cools off, which you can empty and burn at the same time. And the engineers,
Sorry,
the
that's
engineers have sat.
heavy.
Yeah, it's very heavy. They've sat down to pitch him on this design and why it will work. So this is where we start the show.
That's how the movie starts.
That's how the movie starts. So, and this is how you learn about who. But you get juxtaposition of the beautiful garden and then the wall. It's a wall.
yeah.
As close as I am to you is Auschwitz to them. But
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
garden
yeah.
that she builds and the home she makes for the children. But what happens is the story is they're told they have to transfer, and she becomes Princess Bitchy Auschwitz to be like, I'm not leaving. This is my home. And it's like, no, this is your death camp, bitch. Like
Everything
Yeah.
about it should make you want to leave.
yeah,
Yeah.
you should not want to be here.
But she's like, this is my home?
Yeah, she argues for it, and then she's like, well, I
Home
don't
is
want
where
to.
you make it.
But then he gets transferred to the head of all death camps. So he's now like the death camp.
Yeah, he's Mr.
he's
Death,
CEO guy.
basically. Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
He's under Goebbels. He's under Goebbels or Gables. He's under Himmler. Like he's right.
Anne of Green Gables.
No, Himmler, doctor.
Oh,
Before
I
Anne.
didn't know
not-
she was a doctor.
There's no Anne.
Before Anne, she was a.
Anyways, I didn't like the feeling I got from the movie, but the movie is very powerful. The movie is very good. It does show you exactly the brutality of it in a very subtle way.
Yeah, you said it could be used in like an educational
You
way.
could kids need to watch this. Like as much as we watched Schindler's List when we
Yeah.
were in,
Yeah.
this is something that should be watched and educated and talked about. And
Right.
and I mean, politics of the world aside, I'm just talking about a movie that I watched. What bothered me the fucking most, though, was it's one of those pick your own ending movies where, like, I got so wrapped up in hating these two fucking bastards. I wanted them to get the shit given to them. And this is what Jimmy thought was so funny. He's like, Mike, they
The
won
Nazis
in the end.
lose.
They lose. And I was like, no, but you don't see them
He
lose.
wants to see.
I want
he wants this Inglorious Bastards
Ask
scene
an
where
old
they
man.
like. He wants that definitive scene with.
Yes.
Yeah, you want
Just
the
go
theater
down
on
to
fire.
the Legion and ask any of the old men there, and they'll fucking tell
I
you.
was there.
Guys, I didn't get that.
They'll tell you exactly how it went.
And I mean, do you want to know the ending? Because the ending is very powerful.
They lose.
Yes. Spoiler alert.
We saw Oppenheimer, Mike.
No one
It's
won.
It's
No
actually
one
that. That's the ending.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
Axis lose.
Yeah, no. The way it ends is that everything that you don't see, you never see the camps, you never see the death. You hear the death.
Right.
You hear the tanks, you hear the trains, you hear the burning, you see the smell that people experience. Like all things are experienced. But then it cuts to black, and then it's
Like Sopranos?
It's current day. Yeah, but you get something. It's current day, and they're opening for the tour. And it's just the tour guide sweeping with red ribbons where, like, you would follow through and you would go, and then you see all the shoes, and then you see all the things that were left behind, and it's now been turned into the museum that it is and the memorial that it is.
Right.
And that's how it ends. It just ends with 2 to 3 janitors cleaning and showing you everything you never saw in the movie.
Right, but
so
no,
very powerful.
for sure.
But story-wise, like as someone who went in and wanted a story, I
Yeah.
got one for an hour and 35 minutes.
yeah.
And then it went artsy, and I was like, fuck you.
That's
Yeah.
not how you win for sound design, Mike.
Well, no, but that, for an hour and 35 minutes, it was sound design because the last 5 minutes in the memorial are quiet. There's no fucking sound.
it's kind of like
It's just a broom sweeping. Like,
it's also interesting. Like and again, this is just me, just based on what you said. But Schindler's List ends with a very powerful, right? Like the real victims are there
rocks.
putting the rocks. So I find it very,
yes.
it's very like,
But like
you know,
get,
and it
Itzhak-
staples it harder. Like
you
it
get
hits
Itzhak
harder.
Stern's, you get Ben Kingsley's. Sorry for the mispronunciation. You get Ben Kingsley's.
Sir Ben Kingsley.
Sir Ben Kingsley. You get Liam Neeson being like, I wish I could have done more. I wish I
Right.
could have done more.
Right.
All right, we close.
Right.
We close the story. This is like he's walking out, he's puking because he can't stand what he's doing. Cut to black, and you're
Yeah.
like, no, I want your head taken off.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I want the Bear Jew to come in from
Yeah.
Glorious Bastards.
Yeah.
And go to fucking town.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I wanted, and I didn't get that. So that's my only point.
More Eli Roth.
More Eli Roth.
I heard that was supposed to be Sandler.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't
That was
crazy?
the original pitch. Yeah.
That'd have been sick.
I'm
Yeah.
done. Jimmy,
Ooh.
close this off.
I watched
how-
Civil
sorry.
War. No, what did you do?
What did I do? I just want to say.
What horrible thing are you gonna
How many
say?
No.
Hitlers do you give
No,
out of 10?
I'm gonna.
Is that what we do? Do we just say that?
No, I give it 10 sound design awards out of 10.
Okay, yeah, so very deserving.
That's where I'm going.
We're proud of you.
Thank you. I mean, we know where I could have gone, but like, we don't go there. That's not proper. Jimmy closes off.
Yeah, you know,
What'd you watch,
Civil
Jimmy?
War.
He watched the what's happening now, not
Right,
what
yeah.
happened
right.
then. So how
Not
was it?
what I thought. Like, yeah, it's hard. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but it's just, it was not what I thought it was going to be. Alex Garland makes a beautiful movie. It is shot so wonderfully because it follows Kirsten Dunst's character as a photojournalist.
Mm-hmm.
And then she has the interview with her, and they also take in a journalist who's a little bit past his years, and a new journalist who's only 23 or so who wants to be a photojournalist, and Kirsten Dunst is one
Oh
of her
wow,
heroes.
so it's like cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
so they're all going on the road together from New York to Washington, D.C. We did our debate about it. You guys remember. And it's
I was gonna
just
say,
so
how
much
accurate
more.
were we?
Most of the movie is kind of shot through their perspective where you see it in photos.
Oh wow.
Do you see it in like the viewfinder?
Yeah, you see them taking pictures. You see, it's just, It's far heavier than I thought it was going to
It's
be.
almost like it sounds like because with the photojournalism aspect, it's almost like documentary-esque.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly what
Oh,
it feels
cool.
like.
So it makes it seem like it's real, like it's
Yeah.
really real.
It felt so real.
Yeah.
And Zoe and I are sitting there watching it, and it's just so intense. And she's holding my hand and just crushing it. And there isn't a moment where it takes its foot off the gas and you feel relief.
Ooh.
You just feel tense the whole time. What I will say, very little Nick Offerman. Don't get into it hoping that you're going to see a lot of Nick Offerman.
Fuck the movie then.
You don't really see him a lot. You see him at the beginning, you see him at the end. That's what I'll say.
What kind of American are you then? After watching it,
Yeah, what
you
kind of
say?
American are you?
What kind of American are you, Jimmy?
That scene
America.
alone in the theater gave me just in the preview. Like I haven't seen it yet, but that I will say, preview wise, one of the most like panic attack previews I've ever seen. So I feel like that's
This
the
is going to
movie.
win awards.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, I shit you not. Like you'll see it, you'll understand.
So it's not the violence that everybody was expecting. It's not. I mean, it is, but it's not like.
It's
from
not what
that-
you thought it was going to be.
Okay.
The violence is a lot more real.
The only thing I saw was the Canadian money thing. I thought that was very, and Alex Garland
Yep,
talked about
our
that.
Canadian dollar is
Yeah.
nice and high in this universe.
Yeah, like
We've
it's-
done it again, folks.
Yeah.
Canada's back.
Like I think there, like what I saw is like a bartering scene, and she's like, "I'll give you 200," and he's like, "Pfft."
200
and she's like
bucks.
Canadian, and then he's like,
Oh,
get them their supplies. Like not to that, but it's like,
Well, at
what?
least it's something we can
Yeah.
look forward to.
And Garland, I can't.
Yeah,
he
good
has
for
a-
us.
He has an interview, but he talked about it specifically. I can't remember what he said exactly, but it was funny. I think because he said that was something to really show how
Fuck.
end of the world things are.
Yeah.
Is like our
like how to
literal.
anchor it in contemporary
Yeah,
society. With
yeah.
the Canadian dollar's up there.
Yeah.
Shit's gone south.
this is something
Yeah.
the Americans have made a movie about that is happening all over the world.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary.
And
It's just the American Civil War, but
it's
Civil Wars are
horrible
everywhere.
and scary knowing that it's really happening in places across the world.
Yes.
And then you see it in this movie and they shoot it in such a way that makes you feel like, oh, this is happening.
Yeah. Like these are real people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And how close you're teetering. Yeah, and I mean, Garland is the kind of guy who does that with Ex Machina. It's about how close were we to
Yeah.
being befuddled
Chat
and-
GPT.
right? How close we
Annihilation was pretty fucking crazy too.
Annihilation.
Annihilation
so
too.
good.
Yeah.
The man
Oh.
can make a fucking movie.
He just knows how to really make you think in a way where it's like, as something as say sci-fi as Annihilation or Ex Machina, you're still sitting there being like, wow, this is a study
It's
of the
grounded.
human existence, the
I'm
human
not
brain.
pulled out of it at all. Like I am just
No.
laser focused.
Yeah,
And
his movies are always tense. There's never like a moment where you can breathe in his movies. It's
Yeah.
That's
like,
exact,
oh, fuck,
and you'll
what's
feel
happening
that with
next?
this. You're gonna
Yeah.
feel it with Civil
Also,
War
like
too.
I think America's at its scariest it's ever been in terms of like they've had civil wars, but again, them having a civil war now is really scary compared to having a civil war when you had fucking muskets and shit.
Yeah, when
You
you had
know?
single shot
Yeah,
bolt
and
action.
that line of "What kind of American are you?" I feel like that's something that someone would say.
So
Yep.
can you
Because
tell
there are
us?
Republicans
Absolutely.
that think Democrats are not American and
So
vice
you're
versa.
saying I should go to Star Wars World now?
Yeah.
before it's too-
Dude,
yeah, we should all
literally.
go today.
Go to Graceland, go to Star Wars Land, go to everything. Everything's getting sold.
Dolly World.
Dolly World, everything. That's one of my dreams.
God bless
I wanna
Riley
go to- I
Keough
wanna
for
go to
saving
Gra-
Graceland.
Dude, you have no idea. This
11th
was a tense
hour.
week. I was
Yeah.
freaking out. I've never
Oh,
been,
yeah.
and I want to go.
Heritage sites are
And I'm like,
disappearing all over the
how is it
fucking
not?
world.
Like, isn't the government supposed to keep like that? Can't happen. Like they can't get rid of it.
Dude, it's
That's
called
what's supposed to
capitalism.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, God damn
You're
it.
supposed to
God
be.
damn it.
It's called
Civil
real estate,
War.
though.
That's what made me turn.
What kind of American is Jesse?
Is he scary? Seems scary.
Okay, I guess I could spoil that. He seems to be unaffiliated with anything.
Ooh,
He's just a
Okay.
maniac.
libertarian.
Yeah, exactly.
A libertarian.
He's
might we?
just scarier. I don't think I've seen Jesse Plemons as terrifying.
Yeah, I have a hard time. Well, I mean,
So he doesn't care about his wife in it.
Breaking Bad.
She's not his wife.
He
or
does
anything.
not care
No,
about his wife.
No, he does
No.
not care about his wife.
Breaking Bad, though, right? I mean,
Yeah, okay,
terrifying.
watch this movie and then come back to me.
But Breaking Bad was like a talented Mr. Ripley kind of. Like he was dead inside already from Breaking Bad. Like he was, you know what I mean? He would answer things like almost soulless.
I love how
like,
you're dead
okay.
inside as talented Mr.
He was
Ripley.
scarier as the
Well,
bully
you
in
know.
Like Mike than he was in Breaking Bad.
Or like the neighbor in Game Night.
Yeah, he was scarier in that.
Oh, that's so good.
Breaking
He
Bad
was
is at the
amazing
bottom
as
of
that.
this,
Two
Mike.
bags
Wow.
of Tostitos there.
2
Yeah.
for 3.
2 for 3. That doesn't seem like it's profitable.
How is that profitable for Frito-Lay?
Okay, so Civil War is good then.
It's fantastic.
wait.
I'm glad you said that because I mean, you hear.
I
what-
was a little frustrated with the ending, but that's just because of
Is it because the Nazis didn't lose?
Was it like me?
It just wasn't what I
There were
wanted to
Nazis in
happen.
your movie too.
I'm not mad at how it ended. I'm mad that it wasn't the way that I wanted it to end.
Right.
Can
Right.
you tell me and Martin how close we were to the movie, having
Oh,
argued it, having used the plot, not having seen a single thing besides the trailer?
Did Macho Man Randy Savage win the whole?
Yeah, like did
We didn't use a neuralizer at all. That was a
there
big
was no
deal.
neuralizer.
No, that didn't happen.
What else? Would we have made it, you think?
Honestly, well, so they drive through multiple states, right? And some of them are still part of America,
Yeah.
quote unquote, and they just pretend that it's not happening at all. They
Oh.
have their little towns.
Kind of like right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
They
a
just
bubble.
Pretend, yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
They pretend that
it's like the
not
horde is on
happening.
the outside of the wall.
And they drive
and
through
like-
because they've left a literal fucking war zone, and they drive through this town, and they're like, "Did we just go through the Twilight Zone? Like, what is this?"
Right.
And they ask, and they're like, "You guys know there's a pretty big civil war going on," and they're like, "Oh yeah, we just choose not to be involved." I
Like, they
think it's
think-
supposed to be like a Sweden, Switzerland.
Like we're neutral.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah,
we're just gonna
there's a
keep
lot of
being
states
neutral.
that are in like the Midwest going across in the northern states.
That's even more
that are just
scary.
neutral.
That you're like, civil war's happening. You're like, can we be Can I just be neutral? Like, can I just be like, I don't pick
And
sides?
some towns just do that.
I just want to watch American Idol and get fat. That's all I want to
Yeah,
do.
like,
over
I
here
don't-
in
American
Ohio.
Idol's over, Mike. It's Civil War.
Oh, okay.
It's America.
But there's no Nazis though.
Wow, it is still America, Mike.
They did. Hey,
There's
have you,
neo-Nazis
hey,
now.
have you guys seen? Have you seen the Hunters or the Hunter? The Amazon Prime series about how
Oh,
Nazis
the
and-
vampire.
No,
is that
no.
the
No,
one?
no,
Pacino?
they're Nazi hunters.
the Nazi Hunters.
Oh no, you
With Al
told us about
Pacino.
this
in the
before, though.
70s.
Yeah.
In the 70s.
Oh no,
Oh,
no. I hear but it's good, eh?
I'll tell you about it after.
Cool.
Al Pacino, baby.
How many?
For some reason, I thought they were vampires. They were hunting vampires.
No.
So it's just,
That's Abe Lincoln,
they're gonna bite
vampire
you.
hunter.
Hey, yeah, no.
That's pretty good. That's
Okay.
really good.
How many Jesse Plemons and Kirsten Dunst marriages out of 10?
Dude, this is like a 9.5.
Really?
Yeah, like it's so beautiful to watch. Like, you're really
Well, to
gonna
Martin-
be amazed.
Martin
you're really gonna be
mentioned-
happy.
Annihilation. Annihilation was fucking awesome to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah, all the way to the end. That movie was like Ex Machina. I remember seeing that in theaters, and it ended. I was like, I've never seen a movie like this. This was amazing.
Yeah.
Like it blew my. It was like a Black Mirror episode, basically. Like it was wild.
He's very Black Mirror. He should
I
do
just
Black
thought
Mirror.
it was.
He is.
We all thought that it was going to be weird seeing a British guy direct this kind of movie.
Yeah.
and he nailed it.
Because it was.
I didn't know he was British until I saw it in an interview, and then it didn't struck me like, oh yeah, you're doing it so like that's interesting. Yeah.
Hang on. If you ask Martin about his take on Napoleon and English guys making
God
French
damn it,
movies,
we're
Man,
not
I
talking about Napoleon
I
anymore.
couldn't even finish that
I mean,
movie.
everybody was.
Shout out to the stunt team of Napoleon.
The only people who deserve any credit.
Gosling.
but like we had a British guy make a movie about the French and he fucked it up.
But
So
he-
now,
but
a
that's
British
'cause
guy
he-
making a movie about the Americans, that's really going to get a bee in someone's bonnet if it's.
Well, you know, British people do the best American accents in the world.
I think in a way too, it makes sense if you think about it, because like even if he lives, like even if he's an American citizen, he has kind of this unbiased look at it in a way that
That's why I think
his
it
loyalties
works.
with Britain.
Yeah.
So he can look at it from a complete like.
well, where
what
did the
does this
colonies
stand
come
for?
from,
What does this-
Charles? I mean,
Yeah,
technically,
we're all
No, I
loyal to
know,
Britain.
obviously, but I mean, yeah, all hail the king, like all that
Whatever.
fucking shit. Yeah.
He's gone.
Did everyone see his portrait? My goodness, it's
Terrifying.
great. Yeah.
touch it right.
What's with all the
now.
blood?
Absolutely haunting.
I was like, is
Yeah.
that the colonialism?
I've
in
never
the blood?
seen a haunted painting of a man who's still alive.
Did you see the Simpsons? It's the Homer,
Yeah.
like how he's disappearing in the bush.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that was funny.
I haven't
No, he
seen
hasn't
that
seen any
Simpsons
of it.
episode.
No.
Yeah, shut up. No, I'm
Make-
Come to
He's the
trivia. It's
youngest.
going to be great.
Maggie's the
trivia.
baby.
well, there is your. We haven't been in the room for a while, so I think that's
Yeah,
that's
that was
why
nice. It was like a campfire.
I was like, yeah, let's go a little longer. This
We saw
time.
Apes also, and we
did.
loved it.
We
It
did.
was fantastic.
We all
Fucking
did
awesome.
see
It was a
yeah.
wonderful day.
Apes
Mark-
together strong.
Martin, are you going to see Apes?
I'm gonna see. I have the second week of June off, so I'm watching movies that week.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Oh man, it's totally worth it. It blew my mind too. That
It
was
does.
unexpected.
It sets up everything that we have loved.
That we
from
already
the,
know and love.
We the
I was
Bronson.
thinking, is it like basically like the Charlton Heston?
Yeah.
You were getting
So
that.
yeah, like we're
Yeah.
now in that era of like
Yeah.
the ape story.
Like
It's-
there is a there's satellites. There's things happening in space adjacent to the movie that you're like, okay,
yeah.
now we know that there is a shuttle out there that didn't know this happened.
He's coming.
And
But
the-
who's
Yeah.
going to play him?
Oh my God, Moses. Moses is coming.
Who plays a new Charlton Heston?
Bring Marky Mark.
Yeah, Marky Mark back.
I'm just
Hardy.
kidding. I'm just
Do
kidding.
you?
Abraham Lincoln.
Tom Holland, that would be hilarious.
Ryan Gosling, guys.
Yeah, I would. I mean, at this point, after Fall Guy, Barbie, I'll put Gosling in everything.
Just do
I'm
it.
in. Yeah, I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Apes was good. Apes was really beautiful. Apes was because Apes is the time jump, Martin, where like things have happened
200 years after Caesar.
200
Yeah.
years after Caesar.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like the book of Caesar and the history
Is
of
Cornelius
Caesar.
in it?
No.
No.
No Cornelius.
Cornelius and Dr. Zaius?
Oh no,
No.
not yet.
I
not
love
yet.
you, Dr. Zaius.
They're coming. He can talk. He can talk. He can
It's-
talk.
I can
Yeah.
sing.
Fuck, I love that. Yeah.
I love that
Dr.
Paul
Zaius, Dr.
Giamatti,
Zaius.
even when they still ask him to this day, he's like, when they asked me to play an ape, it was like, you got to play an ape. Like when he did,
Yeah.
when he did,
Well, because they grew up
Tim
like
Burton's.
my
Yeah.
dad does not care for sci-fi in any way. But my
Except-
dad's favorite movie growing up was Planet of the Apes because he grew up when it blew everyone's mind.
Those apes
So
are
my dad
great
was like,
actors.
Charles, I want to go see the new one with you in theaters. I'm like, I'll go
My
with
stepdad
you.
has the
And I'm
VHS copy.
really
still.
nervous
Hell
my dad's
yeah.
gonna have a panic attack because he's like never seen.
This is too real.
Wow, they're real. Yeah,
It's coming right
they
at
know
me.
too much.
Oh, the
Yeah.
makeup too, like the makeup
Well,
they were doing with the pronounced faces and
Yeah.
getting the lips and the jaws right and
It
everything.
looks
That's
incredible.
why I
It's
respect
nuts.
what Tim Burton did, and it was cool.
Yeah.
the way he
Yeah.
did it too was wild.
Yeah.
Like it was really cool.
Well, yeah,
It
and
just felt
Matt
a
Reeves
little-
has no idea what practical means, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, Andy Serkis just kind of
yeah.
he kind of changed the game a little bit, eh? Like he
Well, and like watching them making the movie after, like I watched
Yeah.
a couple behind the scenes shots, and like
yeah
their knuckles are in pads, and then
Yeah.
the pads are another like 4 feet to the ground.
yeah like still little stilts.
Yeah, like little
Yeah.
stilts to like get the walking
and he does
down.
the charge
And
exactly.
what's
like,
his face? The guy who played the
from
King.
the Abigail?
no
or-
the fat
Oh,
guy
Kevin
from
Durant.
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant,
Kevin
yeah.
Durant is a good monkey. Like literally, him and the other guy who play,
Oh, what a wonderful
they're monkeying
thing.
around in their marketing clips.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they're literally like they get down and they start getting into the motions and everything. I'm like the
That's
acting
cool.
that goes
That's
into
really
playing
cool.
an animal
Yeah.
doesn't get enough respect.
Yep.
Well, and it's funny. It kind of falls into what
And
we were
no
talking
respect.
about
Yeah, exactly.
about stunts. Like it's kind of that same
Yeah,
kind of
same
thing.
thing.
I think it's like the fact that just because Andy Serkis is in motion cap playing Gollum or playing Caesar
Is
and
no
they're
less
like,
important.
He's still
no,
acting.
that's not an acting performance. It's like no, but he is though.
He
Yeah.
is. He's doing
Yeah.
the voice.
You think that's just how he is as a person?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Can we get the Gollum out of you, Andy?
And I don't see I would rather him get nominated than, no offense, another fucking Winston Churchill or another biopic.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Both
Like,
categories. You could have the closest to animal. We'd have to workshop that title, but like
Manimal.
Manimal, the best Manimal award,
Yeah.
right? And then we obviously started with John Cena in Barbie,
Oh my god. Oh
Hi,
my
Barbie.
god.
right?
That's so funny.
Gets the Mermaid Award. No, yeah, no. I think those are two missing categories that, here at the Real Debaters. We've decided Oscars.
Yeah.
Fucking listen to
Get
it.
your
Easy.
shit together.
Martin, what time is it?
Not STD time.
Not
Still
for
going.
you, maybe.
It's been an hour
Speak
since
for
we started
yourself.
the show. It's gone. There's not no more STDs. No, what actual time is it? I think what is it? Debate
It's
time?
debate
I
time.
think it is debate
That's what they
time,
say.
sir.
Say it's debate
Shut up,
time.
At my signal, unleash hell.
Push it. Don't push it. I'll give you a war you won't believe.
Goldstein, give me a fat beat to beat my buddy's ass.
I know what kind of guy you are. I never would have agreed to work for you.
Are you gonna bark all day, little doggy? Or are you gonna bite? What was that? I'm sorry, I didn't catch you. Would you repeat it?
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
So yeah, we were shooting the shit in this one, and because like Martin has the producer credit for the Pitch It idea, which you've heard in the past, where we've done with John David Washington. We did it with the monsters from the Godzilla universe. It's what we think creatures, characters, and humans should do with their acting chops and the ability to make movies. So we've done Pitch It's before, but this Pitch It has a little bit of a twist on it, as you can expect from your Real Debaters cast, where we're using the what if idea of like, what if this was made instead of that, or what if this happened and we didn't get this. And all of these at their core, we believe, should be the next kind of biopic, or even a movie about how it almost happened. Like, for example, you know how they almost made Superman with Nick Cage?
Yeah.
Like that kind of what if stuff, you know, where like they made a documentary about how that almost happened. So a lot of these things come from things.
And then it did happen.
And then it actually did happen. Yeah, exactly.
Then we saw it happen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And then Nick was like, I wasn't there.
Yeah. No, that's
So
not me.
kinda.
Yeah. Kind of, sort of. CGI in it. Anyways, so that's what this is about. And because we've got 4 on the floor today, we've got a designated judge who is Martin Navarro. So at this point, I will relinquish all control.
When you're pitching, call me Bobby Sugar.
Bobby Sugar. Got it. Okay.
That's the producer you're pitching to.
Bobby
Bobby
Sugar.
Sugar.
Bobby.
Robert Sugar.
Robert
Oh my
Sugar.
God, that's funny.
Call me Mr. Sugar.
Mr. Sugar.
Mr. Shugs.
Which I hear is a great TV show on Apple right now, starring Colin Farrell.
Ah.
Yeah.
It is a good TV show.
Without makeup. He's not the Penguin. He's a LA
Really?
That's what they call him when he's not the penguin.
Yeah,
Without
Mr. Sugar. Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Shuggy.
So, Mart, you do have an idea that inspired all of this. So before we even get into it and argue ours, how about you take the floor and present what I believe, wish would have actually happened?
Well, what if on February 3rd, 1959, the flight N3794N never made it off the runway?
What flight is that?
That was the day. It's known as the day the music died, where Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Ritchie Valens crashed and died.
They didn't live.
They did
They
not.
didn't live.
They
didn't
Kobe'd.
live.
Yeah.
Sure, I would say this. Like, let's say that flight never made it off the runway. Some fans would have been upset during that day, but I think the world would have gotten a whole lot of rock and roll, right?
Yeah.
Would Weezer have made the song about Buddy Holly? I don't know.
Well, he still does look like him.
We don't know. We don't know what had happened. But also,
It would have come from a different place.
I think the biggest tragedy, we wouldn't have gotten the movie La Bamba.
Oh, we would not have
That's
got
right.
it. Yeah,
Starring
Lou
exactly.
Diamond
starring
Phillips.
Lou Diamond Phillips.
That's right.
And you know what? I don't think we would have gotten a Lou, like that was his big, I think that's what we wouldn't have gotten. We would have gotten Lou Diamond Phillips, the actor. That movie was his big break. That was his big role.
That is true.
Can you think
That
about
is
that
true.
for a second? You don't get the biopics
Think about
without the
it.
deaths.
Think about this world. Think about this world. Think about, close your eyes for a minute.
Okay.
And just think about someone else saying the line, picante beef. In
Oh
Brooklyn
my God,
Nine-Nine.
that's what I just saw that episode a
can't.
few days ago.
I just can't.
That
There's
crunch
no other
on
person
top.
saying it. It's someone else. Imagine it's Edward James Olmos saying picante beef.
I can't. I don't like it. I don't like it.
It's
But I don't think. Here's the thing. I think his alternate reality would have been something that could have been made into a movie, because he also did a lot of. He was also an activist for First Nations in the States, because he's part Cherokee.
yeah, he was.
Did
Yeah, yeah,
Geronimo.
yeah.
So he did a lot of
Yeah,
activists.
yeah.
So I think it would have been. He would have been a huge
And Young Guns.
activist
That's
for
right.
First Nations down in the States, and that would have been. He would have been like First Nations in the States MLK. Like he would have been that. And I think that's the movie we would do. And to play him in the biopic would have been, hold on, I got to get his name right.
Diamond Dallas Page.
Another hard diamond.
It would have been
Yeah,
Zach
they're-
McLennan.
They're related.
Zach McLennan. Westworld Zach McLennan.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, from like, he was in, what was he? He was in Westworld.
Yep.
He was in,
was that the one that
what was the Fargo? He was Fargo
He was
as
in
well.
Fargo as
Season
well.
two,
Yeah,
I
he was in the
think.
most recent Fargo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was
so,
he in the
He
He
was
did
shape?
Bone
playing the
Tomahawk
biopic.
too, actually.
Oh yeah.
So do you think people
and
would have made
it would-
movies
it
about
would call,
Lou
it would be called,
Diamond
the movie would be called LDP, American Activists.
Lou Diamond Phillips, yeah, I like it.
LDP.
LDP.
That's great.
That's also a wrestling.
Imagine a world without Lou Diamond
LDP.
Phillips. We wouldn't get the big hit with Mark Wahlberg,
Wow.
but he would have been an activist, and I think he would have done some good in the world that way.
Do we think Buddy Holly would have gone on to do anything other than Buddy Holly?
Be
Well, I was
referenced
gonna
in
do
Weezer.
I was gonna do the original Buddy Holly story of what it would happen to him, but I'm like, you know what? That's expected. People
That
are
is
gonna expect
expected.
that. You're not gonna expect me to talk about Lou Diamond Phillips.
No, it's a very good point, and like I love how you mentioned that you don't get the biopics if
No.
this doesn't happen. So as much as those are great biopics, everybody lives on. But what do they do instead? What if
They do biopics.
they do?
See, Lou Diamond Phillips becomes an American activist, and we do a biopic on him. That's the movie I'm pitching.
Young Guns 3.
Love the twist.
Yeah, no Young Guns.
Yeah,
No
Young
Young
Guns.
Guns.
New Young Guns. No
New
Young Guns.
Yeah, that's right.
Love the
I
twist.
Old Guns.
old
Oh, God.
Rusty Guns.
Yeah, Rusty Guns. Oh, no.
Found on.
No Alec
there's
Baldwin.
an Alec
No
Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin.
I guess Young Guns. It would have been Wes
Full
Studi
circle.
playing.
Wes Studi, yeah,
Wes
exactly.
Studi instead, playing all the roles Lou Diamond Phillips probably would have gotten.
And scene.
Benjamin Bratt.
Well,
You
yeah,
wouldn't have
because Hollywood
Benjamin
only
Bratt.
picked from 3 of them at the time. So yeah, he's totally right about that.
That's really funny.
I don't like how we wouldn't you this one thing would have really we all would have been saved from Gary Busey's Buddy Holly performance if this
Oh, yeah, that happened.
Or we lose out on that.
or we lose
performance.
out on it. I mean, like depending on where you sit, like I mean
they
that's
should make a movie on how that
we don't have a
happened.
Gary Busey if we don't have that movie because
I
that's
think
really
we still
God.
have Gary Busey.
You think so?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
You'd have chili dogs in
Oh, yeah,
in,
no. He would still need to be
Two,
in Point Break.
Montana.
He would
You
still
He
have
would still
Gary
need to be in
Busey
Point
for
Break.
sure.
really?
Oh, yeah.
God damn it, Montana! You out of control. It's in my teeth. It's on my
And
teeth.
then no
Utah,
Jake
you out of
Busey.
control.
I don't know. Those are all my points, Jimmy. Any thoughts before we open the floor? Here?
Love the twist, man. I think that was fantastic. Did not expect you to go LDP.
Yeah.
No, nobody
I
thinks
love Lou
that.
Diamond Phillips. I don't know what it is. Like I just
Yeah,
love seeing
He's
him on screen
awesome.
whenever
It's
he's on
because we
screen.
grew up with La Bamba, man. That's why.
Exactly.
And
That
I
was
mean,
a great movie.
he did a really good job making us think he sang. Like
Yep.
to lip sync
And also
and to
making us think he was
catch it,
Mexican.
well,
Yes. When I found out he wasn't, I was like, whoa.
that's very true. I mean, he did come with the peyote.
He also plays really
in
good.
Young Guns, so that kind of fucked us all up.
He reminds me of Eric Roberts. Like, he always plays really good, bad, like, villains. Like, he
That's
plays
such a deep pull.
he plays good villains.
Julia
Well, because they
Roberts'
come around
brother.
they come around the same time. They did
Play Cisco in the
similar
Big
movies
Hit.
and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I dig
That was a
it.
good one.
It's a
Fuck,
great
man.
inspiration to start with. A
Glad
big
we're not
old-
competing.
Yeah, exactly. Glad you're a judge. So
I also had another one where I'm like, well, what if Harrison Ford was sick the day he was supposed to read for Han Solo?
Oh,
And we
yeah.
got Richard Dreyfuss.
Hooah! We'd get Pacino.
Pacino up
Harrison
for
Ford
Han
would just be
Solo.
like Harrison
Yeah,
Ford
and
would have just
fucking-
been like he
Yeah.
would have just stuck with carpentry. He would have probably been one of the most famous furniture makers in American
Oh, yeah,
history.
that's
Basically
right.
like a real life
right.
Ron Swanson.
I like that one.
Yeah, he was. He would have made like
He would have
high end rocking chairs or some shit.
He would have hidden all his credits under trees, random trees.
Imagine Richard Dreyfuss in Air Force One, 30,000 feet above the air, punching Gary Oldman in the face, saying, "Get off my plane."
Hey, man, get off my plane.
We're like, get off my boat.
Hey,
Yeah.
you
Mr. Holland's
get
Opus.
off of my plane.
I like it. Nice catch there.
Let's start with the first one. Who's got the first pitch? Mike.
I believe our order was Charles would start off
Okay.
between the three of us here. So you've got Mr. Sugar,
Yeah.
You've got
So mine's nowhere near as fun.
but
I don't
kind of
know.
has some Edward James Olmos in it though.
I don't know if I read the assignment correctly.
That's
but I
okay.
did. So my what if? Here we go. My what if was what if Spanish sensation Selena wasn't murdered in 1995. Unfortunately, she was murdered. If people don't know that,
Yeah, if you,
that's why she hasn't made music in a while, Jimmy. What? Yeah. So mine was what if she wasn't murdered, or like what if she still went to the hotel, she got shot, but she didn't. She wasn't murdered as a result of it. So
Just a flesh wound.
She
Just a
survived.
scratch.
Exactly. Flesh wound. She survived. A funny quote I heard was Selena was Beyonce before Beyonce. So going with that
Selena's was huge,
Right.
my friend.
So going with that route, I was like, so then Beyonce would have stayed in Destiny's Child, and they would have had a fine career and everything. That would have been fine. But Selena still would have dominated, I think, the music industry. And she would have taken, like, for instance, reggaeton. I think now she'd have a big voice in
she would
the reggaeton, like,
she would be
genre.
like, what would she be? Honestly, she'd be doing what Beyonce's doing, which is genre jumping.
Yeah.
But she
Yeah.
would have jumped
And,
from Tex-Mex, Latin, Mexican, salsa.
Right.
Like she was influenced by like 52 fucking flavors.
That's right. And like what was great about her too was because she was like born in the States and actually Spanish was her second language, not her first.
Yeah.
She was still inspired by like Mariah Carey and like, you know, so she
Whitney
had,
Houston.
Yeah, right. So she had like I think that's why still her legacy, like her career was not long. It wasn't very long at all, like
Because of the murder.
because of the murder. But her legacy is still huge, right? So
The murder.
what? I also think Jennifer Lopez would have stayed as a fly girl and an actress. I don't
That's-
think she would have went into music.
Wow.
Because again, you wouldn't have had necessarily
Can't
the
compete.
biopic with J-Lo that we got.
But do you have J-Lo without Selena even? You
That's
don't,
what I'm saying.
Like Selena
And-
is the roadblock to J-Lo. J-Lo doesn't get
Well, and-
off of.
Then what's Ben
and
Affleck
J-Lo's
gonna do?
Not,
What about Ben?
but like, do
He'd
you know what I
be
mean?
so much
Like,
better off.
J-Lo is nowhere near as talented as Selena, but it's very clear that J-Lo is inspired, like, by Selena.
One of
right?
that
And, like, even
performance
before,
in that movie for her. Like,
Yeah.
I love the movie. I think the
movie's awesome.
The
It's
movie's
great.
such a good.
It's great.
but it's so meta in her performance.
Yeah.
that she was that,
And
and
it's-
she looked up to Selena and then played Selena.
That's what I was saying, and it's also wild that Selena like jump started her career essentially, which was her
Totally
like. But what would be neat is if in a what if where say she
doesn't get shot. What
doesn't
happens?
die,
Yeah.
they could still make a movie because that's still a very inspirational story. And her, the fact that she not only survived but continued,
But
making
she's
music.
bulletproof.
And then I feel like Lin-Manuel Miranda and her would team up on something.
Oh, you mean make a musical about her life?
Yeah.
Like they kind of.
Yeah, and then maybe it might make sense to make
That's
J-Lo
something.
play her in the older years or something. But
Ooh.
yeah, and then that I was like, because I feel like they would definitely overlap in some way, especially like In the Heights is all about. It's like a Puerto Rican musical.
Sure. Yeah.
So I mean, not obviously she's not Puerto Rican, but I think they would make something that still is Latin representation because that's really what it's supposed to be.
I'm not Latin, but I think Latin is allowed to encompass a lot of adjacent styles.
Yeah, and I mean, like again, she like like
She
what.
definitely would have been on Broadway for West Side Story.
Yeah, like do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like for sure. Like imagine even Spielberg's movie. Like I could see her playing a role in it.
Oh, she would have
and-
had something, yeah.
for sure, right? Like I just think too is like
Chili's would have called her and been like, "We need a deal."
she would have been
Right.
the new what is it?
Or Chipotle. She would have been for Chipotle.
Chipotle.
That's it.
But like, what's cool is like what we're getting a lot of obvious like. There's a lot more Latino representation and whatnot. I think she was a big part of that,
CSA.
but then got, unfortunately killed when it was really in her prime and when her career was really skyrocketing.
She's the
But-
Whitney of that world.
For sure,
You can
for
see
sure.
it even without the movie, and you see all the found footage.
It's crazy. Well, and that's what's nuts too is like she was singing at a professional level when she was like 7, and like at a scary professional level. And
How
then
old was she when she passed?
She was, I think, 23 years old. I think when she was
Jeez.
killed. Yeah,
It's at 23 Club. Or no, was it 27 or 23?
27.
She's in the young and
She's-
tragic.
she was
club.
23. She was 23 when
And,
she
like,
was killed. Yeah,
the
and
only-
it's so sad. Was literally this woman ran her fan club, and the fan club was huge.
There's a
And
documentary about it right now about why
Yeah.
she says she did it.
You're
Yeah,
supposed to
and-
shoot the president. To impress
She was the
And-
president. You mean?
No,
she-
I mean,
Oh,
Like,
when
of the
you're-
United-
I get it. Yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
their attention.
Well, and-
Yeah.
What's crazy is that like this is the one thing I was thinking too is if social media existed at that time, it would have prevented a president of the fan club because it would have just been someone on
Everybody's
her
a
team
fan.
running
Yeah.
her Instagram account.
Yeah.
Rather than a fan club, right? But before social media, you
Mailing
had to have an
checks
actual
and-
mailing fan club, right?
P.O. box.
Yeah, you're right.
And she started stealing. All these kids were sending in money for these things, and then she was stealing those checks. And Selena herself went to the hotel where they were supposed to meet, where she was supposed to hand the books over that showed the missing money. And then when Selena went to take the books, she was like, "Nope, I don't want to go down for
Because
this."
it was a tragic
Yeah,
case.
and then
of-
held the gun to her head for 9 hours and had to stand up with the police,
That's
and
a
then
long
couldn't do
time.
it. Like, yeah, man.
That's
like,
a work day.
And now she's
Yeah.
still saying, I didn't do it. I didn't mean to do it.
Well, it kind of seems like you did.
She's like,
she said it was self-defense. That was one claim.
I don't know if
was
that's
that
right.
Salena tried to attack her without a gun.
Yeah.
And then, and what they determined was that even if she did, it doesn't make sense because she shot her with her back to her.
Yeah.
Like, that's when she shot her, was she turned around, basically, and was going to the end.
because
to
it's
the door.
scary when people run away from you.
Yeah,
So you shoot them.
Right. So you shoot them, yeah. And then you feel guilt.
Abandonment issues are real.
You feel survivor's guilt, so that's why you hold a gun to your
Yeah.
head for. Anyway, so it's like super, super sad. But that was another thing, is I was like, maybe if social media existed at that time, she wouldn't have needed a president of her fan club. It would have been like an Instagram account that an intern runs.
I like how this movie, like how she gets her career. And
Yeah.
then that movie gets made instead of the.
Yeah.
Because like someone said to me the other day, I don't know who I was talking to, but I was talking. Well, I know who I was talking to. I'm going to out this person, Aaron. Aaron's like, no, you don't have a movie without the death. I was like, no, the death is not the movie. The death.
It
is,
shouldn't be,
the-
right?
the-
It shouldn't
the
be.
death
like-
is the
Especially when you know it's coming.
Yeah, the death is the
Yeah.
it's the rise of a girl and like
Spoiler alert: the Nazis lose.
yeah, it's about the Nazis.
It's again like the whole thing is supposed to be a celebration of the artist's music,
Yeah.
right? And it's sad that, like, yes,
But
and
you still have a movie if she survives and has
that's
this great.
and that was the idea, is because originally I was like,
If
what
she
if she never went to the
J-Lo's,
hotel? But I was like, no, what if she got shot but didn't die from it? That's even more inspirational, because like also
She
too,
caught the bullet.
when I was reading too, like Gloria Estefan had a really tragic bus accident and she almost died. She broke her back. I think like her spine literally like. Anyway, so it was one of those things where
I wish I
she
knew a
shouldn't have-
Gloria Estefan lyric right now to throw in about.
She
Get on your feet.
feet.
Thank you.
Parks and Rec.
Thank
you.
But like she shouldn't have, like, one, she shouldn't have healed, she shouldn't have walked, and then she not only did, she went back and kept making music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of where it came from too, is I'm like, I feel like that. And again, I'm a sucker for, I get what Aaron's saying, like Hollywood, from Hollywood's point of view, the best biopics are like, and then the assassination, and then the death happens, right? Like even Salena had that moment. That's unfortunately how the movie ends, and it's really sad.
It's
But
not
it's
about
like-
her bumper on his wall.
Oh yeah,
But
Salena.
23 is just, yeah, that's brutal.
23, yeah, it's crazy. And like again, like she was the breadwinner for like the family band. They were the breadwinners. Her career was literally skyrocketing. Like she was releasing
She was
the
banked.
first
Should have been huge. Like, just-
it was like mostly Spanish and English, and it was her first releasing English music. And
I
yeah,
think she could have been like Beyonce.
that's why, like, it's funny, like they say Beyonce herself says one of her biggest inspirations is Salena, because Beyonce was singing at that time that Salena was an inspiration.
They're both from Texas too.
That's right.
So,
Sweet.
That's right.
Jimmy, final thoughts before Martin calls it. And
Dude, you nailed it. Like, I think that's just such an excellent pick. And again, just like being murdered at 23 when you're at not even it shouldn't have been the height of her career.
Right.
It should have been so much higher, and it would have been so much higher. So I just think that's an excellent pick.
Thank you.
Martin, any final thoughts?
I love the Jennifer Lopez Selena movie just because it works so well with Lou Diamond Phillips. So, same kind of thing. I like it. One thing that I always wondered if she lived was, would Selena have starred opposite Kevin Costner because she was so big?
Oh,
Bodyguard.
Wow.
would she be in The Bodyguard?
Ooh.
And then it's even higher selling soundtrack of all time.
No kidding. Wow.
Oh,
I love multiverses.
that's great.
That's
Oh
so
my
much
god,
fun.
and that'd be wild. And it would have that's cool. So it would have the social impact as well.
It would,
too,
yeah,
right?
everything. You just because
Yeah.
like what you know from her story is that she was on a meteoric rise.
Especially
So-
imagine how different that would have been if the big song from it was in Spanish versus
wow.
English.
Yeah, they
let's
did a
say.
Spanish. I will always love you.
Yeah. And that was the version we got. So everyone was like, yeah, you know that I know a Spanish song. And it was like,
Yeah.
because it had the same impact, let's say. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
would
that's a
Dolly?
good
but
point,
hang
Martin.
on, would Dolly Parton have written it?
yeah, that's
though?
right. Because that's right.
That's
she did.
Dolly Parton's
That's
song.
Right. That's right.
Did
That's
Selena
right.
write their own music?
She did. I
She
think
did.
She did. Yeah.
Then
yeah.
Selena
And
would
then-
have maybe written something completely different.
Yeah.
She wrote "I Will Always Love You" in Spanish, and that's how that all.
Yeah.
'Cause
Then
that-
Dolly
now-
Parton's
yeah.
like, could I sing that in English?
I sing that with a twang.
yeah.
I am next to go here.
Mike,
Oh.
who's next?
So you say. We
Martin,
just
do you
all
want-
have to
do-
trust
do-
you.
do- no, well, Martin, hang on. We agreed it was the.
Oh, my name is not Martin.
Sorry, Mr. Sugar. We
Yes.
agreed that
Mr.
it was,
Sugarman.
it was
Robert
the,
Sugar.
the order of today's reviews. Do we still want to do that?
Exactly.
Or do you want to do
Order
that?
of today's reviews.
Okay. All right. So.
Mr. Sugarman.
All right. Okay. So I went with something that almost happened. What if this had happened instead of
I like
what
that.
if that had happened? And I would like to make this version just for fucking shits and giggles. But MGM acquired the rights to Lord of the Rings in 1975. Finally, it was a big fight, but up until 75 is when MGM got it. And the only copy that we know in existence was the NBC animated movie that we've all seen, right?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah, it's classic,
It's
man.
classic.
It's a great one.
That animation style, like,
Yeah.
I love it. It was the closest thing that you had at the time, but people
That
were
was
trying
cool.
to figure shit
You
out.
had Dumbledore flinching at Sam.
Right? Like, but
was fucked.
But you had this like watercolor-esque animation style, and at the time, a movie called Dr. Strangelove had just been made by a young and up-and-coming director called Stanley Kubrick.
With Peter
Who?
Sellers.
And there was also a band in the 60s that was absolutely huge.
The Monkees.
No, the monkeys wanted to be them. They're more of a earth-dwelling creature.
The Rolling Stones?
No, not the Stones.
Oh.
No.
The B-52s?
John Clancy and the Beaver Brown Five.
No, still
Beach
not.
Boys?
Warm, not even
Oh my
warm.
God.
You're on the other side of the
That's
pond,
great.
my friend.
Oh, fuck.
It was a group that scurried around on the ground. They were called the Beatles.
Oh.
The Beatles.
The Beatles.
The Waddles?
Beatles. The
Featuring
Beatles.
Yoko Ono.
I was just gonna say
Well,
the Yoko Ono's
gentlemen,
band.
Gentlemen,
She's Golem.
somebody had the wise idea to say we should take Stanley Kubrick and make Lord of the Rings with the Beatles. And that almost happened, and I will tell you exactly why it should have happened.
Oh my
So
God.
first of all, we'll just cast who's who, so we can.
I
get
think
it
it's
out of the way.
obvious.
Ringo. I want second breakfast.
Well, no, this. So the way. Oh, guys.
I can picture him saying it, right? It's perfect.
So this,
I don't know if this one's gonna win, but that line is gonna win for the jury.
Well done.
have second breakfast?
I just want second breakfast.
So we have John Lennon as Frodo. That is my casting. I will read the article.
Wow,
after.
you went Lennon Frodo.
I have
Nice.
Lennon as Frodo.
Nice.
Okay, because I mean it is Paul,
Imagine.
it's Paul and John.
Selfish, yeah.
But yeah, I think he's more like. I mean, he was the artsy one. He was.
dick.
I think there's a lot. He was a dick. But I mean,
Frodo was a dick.
There was a
little
lot of
bit.
Sergeant Pepper in him. There was a lot of like Yellow Submarine. I mean, I just think he.
I think that's a Ringo song.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Then I have
Imagine.
Paul. I have Paul as Aragon. Actually,
What?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Then who plays Sam?
hang on,
What?
hang on, hang on.
That's great.
So then I went with George as Gandalf because
What is happening here?
Because like
I thought you
why?
were going to cast him as the main hobbit.
No. This is my Lord of the Rings. Like, and then finally,
Oh my
finally, we have Ringo as Sam.
What?
God, Sam.
Ringo is Sam.
Oh my God.
Now here's
Who's Pete Best?
I guess I could carry
who's
you.
Pete Best. I guess he's either
Who does Pete Best play?
Okay, he's either Mary or Pippin. He plays both. He plays both. He
Oh
he
my God.
doubles.
David Bowie should play both.
David Bowie.
A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down with Mary Pippin.
So this
Mr.
was
Sugar loves sugar.
this was my casting, Mr. Sugar.
Sam, fucking Ringo is Sam. Holy shit.
So, but I mean, it's not what you expect. Like, obviously, Paul
it
and
certainly is
Paul
not.
and-
It's definitely
Paul-
not.
I know. Paul and John should obviously be Frodo and Sam. I get it, right? And George should be Gandalf.
What?
George is always
would all be
Gandalf.
hobbits.
George and Ringo would be Mary and Pippin.
No, I don't.
What?
No,
I
they're
just want
better-
second
George
breakfast.
is obviously Gandalf.
You guys are
Who is that obvious to? Who, Michael?
the
Well,
fans.
I did not think this would cause so much
Kubrick,
controversy.
obviously.
But here's my idea, right? Because you guys have to you guys have to think. Okay, calm down for a second. You have
Oh,
to
it's
think.
us that has to think.
You just have to calm.
Think, Mark.
Mr. Sugarman, just listen to me. The
Just sugar, not man. Just
Okay,
sugar.
Mr.
Just
Sugar. Mr. Sugar, you have to think though, like this is during the '60s, so the the backdrop of this is the swinging '60s. Like this isn't the Lord of the Rings that you think we've. This is not what we got. This is what would have been. Okay, this is how fucked up it would have been. I know what we got is proper. I know they should have been cast as the Hobbits, but this is why this would be so fucking insane.
I don't think you did. No.
So it's. So it's cast against the swinging '60s. So think Austin Powers, all right?
What?
But then also at the same time, the Beatles were proposed. This is true. The Beatles were proposed to do the soundtrack because it's coming off of Hard Day's Night. It's coming off of Help. Okay, you have them being able to do double duty. So you've got this soundtrack that could have been made to the backdrop of the swinging '60s. Instead of Sauron being like a mountain, it's Big Ben. Instead of like Hobbiton, it's like the Shire just outside of London, right? Like you take everything that you know, but you apply it to Stanley Kubrick. That's why this is so fucked up. If this is Peter Jackson, sure, it doesn't make fucking sense. But this is the alternate universe. This is the what if. What if we got a swinging '60s musical version of the Beatles playing in Lord of the Rings?
I think there'd be a lot of weird merch.
But like you guys don't understand this. Like first of all, like the reason they called him Ringo was because he always wore fucking rings. Like he's perfect to be in the goddamn fucking movie.
Because he wears rings?
Because Sam, as Ringo as Sam, he's the one who's got to hold the ring for Frodo. He's weak. He's already used to having like 7 rings on each fucking finger.
He doesn't know which one it is.
He doesn't know. And like at the same time too, in A Hard Day's Night, they couldn't get a ring off of Ringo. Right? Like, these are things that
I can't carry the ring, but I can carry you, John.
I tried all
I wrote
week.
a song about an octopus.
I can't. I can't.
Yeah, that's great.
I can't do a Beatles impression.
Can we get to
save
Mordor
my
now?
life. So anyways, but like the thing that the big what if, right? Like what happens if this happens if we do this instead of that is I save the Beatles.
This sounds like the big why not.
Hang on. I save the Beatles. Okay? Do you know why I saved the Beatles?
That's the fucking title of the episode.
I saved the Beatles.
I saved the Beatles because who wants to date a fucking hobbit? Yoko doesn't want to date John after he plays a fucking Frodo. So there's no way his sex appeal is increased. There's no way she drives a wedge between him and Paul. And we still get the Beatles music to this very fucking day. This is what happens if you
So
make
you're saying
Lord
they
of-
don't even get murdered
No,
later?
nothing happens. This changes trajectory. This is that big fucking, this is the TVA, okay? This is where you clip a fucking line and change things for the betterment. So the Beatles are saved. Yoko's not a fucking problem. Ringo gets to wear more rings and protect Frodo. We have this swinging 60s rockabilly fucking weird soundtrack made by the guy who just made a comedy about the nuclear fucking bomb. I'm done.
And scene. Fascinating film.
Quite fascinating.
I don't know. That sounds like a real piece of shit.
I didn't say it'd be good. But that's for Mr. Sugar to decide.
That movie sounds ass.
I'm just trying to picture George Harrison as Gandalf, and so funny.
And, like,
Paul McCartney as Aragorn.
Hang on, I'll bring up the real list. So Beatles.
I saw a blackbird.
As
Yeah, can you go over the cast one more time, Mike, real quick?
My casting. Hang on, I'll bring it up here again. So my casting was not what everybody thought. Obviously, it was a big bait and switch. John Lennon as Frodo. Excuse me. Paul McCartney as Aragorn. George Harrison as even saying it's fucked up. George Harrison as Gandalf and Ringo Starr as Sam. That's my pick. Now, the actual pick.
yeah.
Hang on here. It's a variety article.
Everyone played different versions of Gandalf in his life.
So this article goes back to the December 2021, but they had it as hang on here, bear with me.
We've been buried with you.
Gandalf the White.
So how come the movie didn't go
Beatles.
through?
It
was
I
Kubrick,
think
like,
it was
spot.
Kubrick. It wasn't the
Yeah,
Beatles. It was
definitely
Kubrick. Casted.
I don't want to. What I said with a bunch
Okay,
of
here we go.
prima
So here it is. From Variety. By 3 decades before the Beatles had tried to get a Lord of the Rings film off the ground, after playing themselves in A Hard Day's Night and Help, the Fab Four were ready to play fictional characters. Apple Films executive Dennis O'Dell spearheaded the hunt for material. So he was not at Apple at the time. This guy's been around in the industry forever.
Wow.
And said Lennon reportedly loved the idea of rings. Lennon would play Gollum.
What?
McCartney would play Frodo.
'Cause that
George
is
would
the-
be Gandalf, and Ringo would play Sam. So I didn't know this. I picked this before I found the article. I just
Lennon wanted Gollum.
Lennon would have been Gollum.
Fascinating.
Imagine.
Kubrick, fresh off of Strangelove,
My precious.
said provided the music. Kubrick said no.
Precious.
He considered it unfilmable, and more importantly, Tolkien also turned it down.
Thank
Would Yoko
God.
be the ring?
Holy shit, man.
Yoko
That's
would be the ring.
Yeah.
the ring, the drives them
Yoko's
all.
just straight up the ring.
So
Damn, man.
what
That's
if?
fucked up.
What if?
Wow. Wow. And were they gonna? I guess they were gonna try and make one movie,
Who fucking
Charles, what do you
knows?
have to say about it?
dude. I mean, I think like everybody, I was expecting the Beatles to be all the Hobbits, but then looking at it, man, if it's gonna be that fucked, why not go crazy? I can't get over George Harrison as Gandalf.
Why not? That makes perfect fucking sense to
I
me.
can't see "Thou shall
In
not
what
pass"
way?
as Harrison.
Thou shall not. Thou shall not.
Here
pass.
comes the sun.
That's all I see, man.
Toot and doo-doo.
Comes, you just start playing Here Comes the Sun.
Hey Jude,
He's not so
don't
bad.
cross the Shire.
Exactly.
It's a sad
I mean,
firework
even a Beatles
to
soundtrack
make
for that
it
would have been.
better. See, that's my Beatles.
It would
It's
have been.
horrible,
It would have been wild. The Beatles soundtrack for.
right? But I'm not like I'm taking away.
May it
I'm taking
be
away
a
mountains
shining
and
star.
shires and mythical creatures. Like we're gonna have like double-decker buses and Piccadilly Square and like it's not
Halfway through the movie, they play themselves.
Yeah, like they're just they come into each other.
I don't know, Ringo.
Ringo, carry the ring down to Big Ben. Sorry. Anyways, Jimmy, I'll shut up.
This movie would have fucking sucked. I'm so glad it didn't get made. My
been
God,
horrible.
that would have ruined their careers.
Oh, for sure.
I am
yeah.
fully like.
That's
I
why the
truly
women
believe that.
died.
It would have
Just
still
careers
killed.
would have been
It would have still
But-
killed John Lennon.
But just remember,
For a
everybody.
different reason.
You ruined the Hobbit.
You should have just been Sam.
You should have been Sam.
Oh, shit.
I mean, I think Paul and John would have remained friends because they would both struggle. They would
I
both
agree.
be in shape together.
They're polar opposites.
Yeah, they
right?
wouldn't have had that struggle, or they would have been like, "It was your idea. It was your idea."
The
Like,
Rolling
they
Stones would
like-
be huge.
The Rolling Stones would be like.
They would have
dude,
been even bigger.
They would have.
They were going to do two towers with the.
No, but here's what happened. No, guys. Here's what happened. They were approached and they Stalloned them. They were like, "Yeah, we'll do it." And then the Beatles heard about it. They're like, "No,
Yeah.
we'll do it."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "We're not doing it."
yeah.
Mick's like,
so-
"Fuck those guys."
That's so funny.
Anyway, Jimmy, any final thoughts?
The
before
Monkeys did Return of the King.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, that's the trilogy. right
Hey,
there.
hey, we're at Mordor. People say we're ringing around.
That's dead on.
That's,
That's the Monkeys.
I told you I can't do Beatles.
Terrible film.
I'm more of a
Ugh.
bipedal animal impersonator.
Fuck,
I can't
that's-
do
that's
six-legged
crazy.
creatures.
Holy
right.
shit,
Dear
that's
Lord.
funny. Oh,
Martin,
man. Martin, it's a tough
I'm
one.
not. Martin's not here.
Mr. Sugar.
Mr. Sugar, what do you say? You wanna give me some cheddar?
What?
Crazy. If it's gonna win, it's gonna be because of Second Breakfast. That's all I'm gonna say.
I can't.
And I don't know if I'm gonna give that to Charles. Who said Second Breakfast? Charles was
Charles
here, right?
said second breakfast.
Yeah.
If it does, it's gonna go to Charles. He's got two
Beatles.
presentations today.
One
One
Beatle
thing
to
I would
rule
have
them
liked to see,
all.
Mike, was I would have liked to see a big Hobbit orgy scene.
Okay, yeah, sure.
That
60s. I mean, yeah,
That
makes
would have
LSD.
been something.
Yeah, okay, I get it. I get
Take
it.
He
two-
did have
It's
that
some sort
cross.
of
Do you want to do
Something
LSD with the
in it.
Beatles?
Well, no, I could. No, they didn't.
John
Especially with
Lennon.
the swinging 60s, they were fucking.
They had a no nudity clause. It was tough.
They were fucking.
Stunt doubles.
That's true.
We
Stunt
had
cock.
the perfect
Stunt
cast of the Beatles. We had Jack Black, Schwartzman,
That's right. Paul Rudd.
Justin Long, and Paul.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have.
We had it.
Justin Long, remember his George Harrison? Yeah, I just really want to play the guitar. Maybe get some songs on the
Maybe we
record.
get some songs.
You're lucky we let you play the drums.
He says to Ringo.
Jimmy, you want to take it away?
Yeah, close us off here. dude.
Okay, mine I think is sad and weird and interesting.
Follow that up, bitch.
So this story's been spread around the internet since the internet's been around. We all know Seth MacFarlane was supposed to die in 9/11. That's his That's his claim to
He
fame.
did die in 9/11. He had to like change it, didn't he?
He did die.
Like his Wikipedia had to be edited.
Yeah, they said he died.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
He lived. He was too hungover and didn't go. Couldn't make his flight, so he didn't go, and he survived. Good for him. And how unfortunate for us, because then we got movies like A Million Ways to Die in the West. We had to watch The Orville.
Yeah, bad.
Both Ted movies.
Hey, the first one's good.
And then every cartoon that comes out now wouldn't just be this weird-looking Family Guy clone. It just wouldn't exist.
That's true.
I think The Simpsons would be a lot more popular than they are. I think people would still be watching it. I do like American Dad, is what I'll say about that.
I do dabble in American Dad.
I think American
all
Dad
right?
is a lot funnier than people give it credit for. So I guess my idea, if I'm making a movie about this, would basically be, do you guys remember the movie Remember Me with Robert Pattinson?
I know where you're going.
So, Michael, to help you Remember Me is a 2010 American coming-of-age romantic drama film by Alan Coulter and written by Will Fetters, starring Pattinson and Emily DeRavin. And the film... Now, it received a lot of negative reviews because of its wacky twist ending, where for no reason at
Were
all...
there Nazis?
No, not quite.
No,
For
close.
no reason at all,
No
Robert
reason.
Pattinson character is in one of the towers on 9/11. The movie actually takes place in 2001. They don't tell you.
It ends with him basically being like, okay, I got to go to my job
So it's a
interview.
big Sophie's
Everything's
choice.
looking up.
It's
Except
Yeah.
it's 9/11.
You know
Everything's
he's
looking
gonna
up.
die,
Nazis.
and it just happens for no fucking reason at all. So my idea is to basically just put Seth MacFarlane in Robert Pattinson's role.
And make it remember Seth.
Yeah, and then he gets on. He goes to work instead of having to miss his flight. He just goes into
Yeah.
Remember Guy.
yeah.
But it's that kind of movie. But at the end of it, it's like he goes to work to make Family Guy, and then that's how we get
Exactly.
Family
Okay,
Guy.
I'm going to go pitch my show.
And then the Family Guy towers or whatever get
Boom.
get absolutely leveled by 2 planes.
Hey, do you guys hear that? I don't know. I got to go pitch a show. See you later. Sounds like a plane.
just
It's got a
think-
baby and a dog in it. It's going to change the world.
It's a little hot in here now, guys. I
think
gotta go across the
truly-
street and pitch a Fox.
The only thing we'd really lose is that a lot of big bands wouldn't be able to play in cartoons anymore. That would be
is
the
that
thing that
him?
we lose.
Is that him?
Yeah, that's what he does. He always has like giant bands play the themes for his shows.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Things like Family Guy have a live or like a giant band that plays for the show, like all their cutaway scenes and whatnot. So they'd lose those opportunities, and
That's
I guess that sucks.
Nah.
We wouldn't know who Conway Twitty is.
You know, that's fair. Conway Twitty would not be as popular as he was without Family Guy
You also don't.
Also, Seth Green would have a lot less work.
Yeah.
because he'd be dead.
And Mila
Because he would have died in 9/11.
Yeah. Mila Kunis wouldn't have
Who knows
it
if
either.
we'd have Mila Kunis? Seth Green, I guess, was kind of popular, and then Family Guy happened for him. But was he in?
Well, we had Mila Kunis from '70s Show, right?
That's
So-
right. She would have
That's
been
true.
fine. Seth Green had Austin Powers. He's fine.
Yeah, that's
and Robot
true.
Chicken. Robot
Robot
Chicken's really,
Chicken.
yeah.
Yeah, you get all
Yeah.
those
You're
things.
right.
Yeah.
No, maybe you're right. Maybe all of them still exist. So we just lose Seth MacFarlane, and then nobody has to talk about how fucking
Alex Bornstein,
huh,
Yeah.
Lois.
huh.
Huh.
He wouldn't have gotten Mrs. Maisel.
I was
after
just
that,
gonna say,
yes?
Yeah, no,
you
Miss
think she
Maisel,
got that
yeah.
because of Family Guy?
Yeah.
No, my work on Family Guy.
They were like, whoa,
Voice
whoa, whoa.
acting
We
I
were
do.
expecting
Mad TV, right?
Lois.
She was Mad TV.
Yeah, she was Mad TV.
You know that
Oh,
acting
yeah,
I do in my
Mad TV.
closet and send in my tapes? You should
Everybody
hire
would
me.
have been fine. We just wouldn't have. I wouldn't have to hear fucking chuds on the internet talk about how Family Guy's better than The Simpsons. I wouldn't have to hear
You
that
wouldn't.
anymore.
You wouldn't
People
have
think
that. Yeah.
People think that. They
That's
think Family
wild.
Guy's edgy, and I'm like, oh, you're so interesting and cool. You like Family
first of
Guy.
all-
You like a show that's been on the air for 16 years.
Simpsons South
How
Park.
edgy of you.
Simpsons South Park, and then Family Guy, like,
Is that the
not
top
even.
three?
No,
No,
I'm
American
saying,
Dad's better than Family
I'm
Guy.
saying for me, it would be like Simpsons, and then, yeah, Simpsons, South Park, BoJack. I don't know.
There's better options.
again,
We're
literally
really not
guys,
losing a lot.
we're
Family
not.
Guy's not even on my
King of the
radar,
Hill.
man.
King of the Hill, guys.
King of the Hill, Beavis
That's
and
it.
Butthead. I'd say the first 3 seasons.
Tell it to
ever
Mike Judge.
Were like before
Tell
it
it
got
to the
canceled.
judge.
Because remember, it got canceled for like Family Guy. It had 3
They got
seasons.
canceled 2 times.
Right. I would have taken the first 3 seasons, maybe.
That's where it should have
and
ended.
that was it. That was it. Yeah,
Yep.
I was fine with that. I was fine
And then
with that.
9/11 happens.
Right. And then he fucking.
And then we lose Family Guy, and
And he's
everyone's like,
born.
wow.
Yeah.
What could have been?
I mean, they
Well-
would have had 1 Oscars where they would have not had a host.
But I don't
they've
know if
done that already.
Pattinson's career takes off if he's not in Remember Me.
I know what happens when I know what happens. Like, what if my mom doesn't let me watch The Simpsons? Then every other animated adult comedy out there falls off my radar.
This made you not watch it.
This
Did she let you watch Family Guy?
Well, no, I was out of the house by then. But like, I
Did
mean,
you let you watch Family Guy?
no, I
Family Guy
was.
started in like '99.
I would tithe. Like, I would beat myself if
60.
I watched.
Michael is 60 years old.
Yes, this is Benjamin Button before your eyes.
I had my first apartment in '94.
Yeah.
Why are you smoking 3 cigarettes at once?
And why am I all of a sudden from
I
New
work
York?
at the factory. My
No, yeah,
name's Mike.
I mean, I know we don't. Like, I like Seth MacFarlane because I think he's a really smart writer and I think he's really funny. And I wouldn't get the Emmys where he outed Harvey Weinstein to everybody. Like, we wouldn't get that kind of
Well, you didn't
stuff.
have to say that.
Like, we.
That doesn't really help me here.
I mean, I don't think he outed Harvey.
Yeah, well, no, but he was, he was one
Yeah.
of the first people to be like, by the way, Harvey, you do some shitty things.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like, would we have figured out about Bill Cosby if it weren't for Hannibal Buress?
Yeah, right.
Okay,
Like,
I see
you,
what
you
you're
get what I'm
saying.
saying. Like, someone knows something,
Yeah.
and they say something. So if you,
Interesting.
if
We
he
might be
dies,
giving Seth a little bit too much credit here.
Thank you.
Okay, Martin. Final thoughts before you decide. I mean, sorry, Mr. Sugar. Final thoughts.
I think you guys not seeing Remember Me is going to really fucking help here.
Yeah, I think that was a big swing and a miss for Remember Me. I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen that Robert Pattinson.
Oh, don't watch
I've seen
it.
the one
It's
where
bad.
he's like in the jungle.
Just watch the end. It turns out he's in 9/11.
It's exactly what Jimmy said, though. Like, I watched it with a girl I was dating at the time, and the whole movie is like, oh, man, the world is just down on this guy, and he's like everyone thinks he's kind of no good, but he's actually good. He's just the world's down on him. And
Yeah.
then literally things finally start turning around. He's like,
It's
I'm going to go.
grimy. He's grimy from The Simpsons.
It literally, and he's
He
like,
is.
I'm going to go to that job interview you told me to, and I feel really good about it. And then he goes into the tower, and you're like, and then it's like 2001, right before and you're like, what? And it ends, and you're like, what the fuck was this?
Cocaine.
Exactly.
Cocaine would do
kinda-
Remember
that.
me, cocaine.
Yeah.
Now you know how I feel when I don't get my dead Nazis at the end of my fucking movie. Guys, come on.
Oh, no, but this was
I know.
satisfying.
I know.
Because you know it's coming.
Yeah. You're like, oh, what happened?
So Martin,
I want to know how this ends.
Did he get the job?
Why is it 2001?
Yeah, I hope he gets
The person in the theater that didn't know.
Mr. Sugar, you have to pick a new movie to invest in, and I'm going to leave that up to you. So, which proposal do you feel that?
Can I?
No.
I'm gonna pick Charles. But I also want Mike's second breakfast line.
It's a hybrid winner.
That's like
Oh.
a thing. And then if we could throw in some Jimmy 9/11 as well.
All right.
There.
Selena's in the tower.
Wow, we're getting
Selena's in the, that's
my
how it ends.
God.
Selena's in
and
the tower.
7-second breakfast.
The Beatles. The Beatles are outside
Yeah.
serenading as the
Yeah.
tower
If
comes
they wouldn't
down.
have had second breakfast, they would have made it out on time.
Exactly, they didn't have enough protein.
I just wanted second breakfast.
That's
now-
the real
now I
winner,
can't
the second
sleep.
breakfast. Yeah.
I wrote a song about breakfast.
Now I have to jump from the 60th floor.
But what if
The
Selena
elevators are
Is
out.
that too dark?
lives and
It was
brings the
25
Beatles
years
with a
ago.
down-and-out career because they made the Lord of the Rings soundtrack movie, or the movie.
Oh
So
my
Selena
God.
brings on the Beatles, like this band from the 60s
That's
who just
great.
went nowhere.
So would
Yeah.
the Beatles have done like Comic-Cons and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
Oh, yeah,
Well,
for sure.
Like if they were
Well,
all
that's
still
this is
together.
the Beatles comeback story with Selena. You know
And
what I
then
mean?
when Peter Jackson came out and does those ones, he'll like sprinkle the Beatles in like
Right.
random roles that they can just.
They'll be
as a
they'll be the
tribute.
ghosts that Aragorn goes to get.
That's right. That's right. Oh.
All right, Martin, there can only be one, as Highlander says. So, as much as I know you want to do a hybrid one today, you got to pick one of us. We need something.
it's got to be Charles with
Yeah.
Selena because we grew up with that. Come
That's
on.
actually the
Thank
best.
you.
Yeah.
That was
Hey.
literally the best movie we came up with.
It was. It seriously was.
Oh.
But I
That's dumb
mean,
as hell.
it's fun to get there.
Oh man, this was great.
I did not think Beatles would. I didn't think everybody had had that figured out. Like you guys were like, "What? That
The
makes no sense."
entire
Like,
universe
okay, what do you
would think
what do you
that.
what do you think then? Like, well,
That is
okay, yeah.
just you and Stanley Kubrick for some
Yeah.
reason.
That's true. That was in a vacuum.
That's
for
crazy.
Sure.
Yeah, no, they're easily the hobbits. That's cast.
They
right
are
there.
the hobbits. They're Merry
Yeah.
Pippin, Sam, and Frodo. Like
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So when are we doing our next Survivor episode?
Oh yeah. When are we? That is so much fun. We should do another one of those.
Well, the season
Yeah.
just ended. I think it's now or never.
Survivor, What If.
Do you want to do
These What
Big
Ifs are
Brother?
great.
Do you want to take Big Brother
Big Brother
challenges?
starts July 16th and 17th.
We should save it for Big Brother then, and then do.
All right.
Let's take
Switch it up?
Yeah, let's take Big Brother challenges and the Big Brother format. So the head of
I can do
house
that.
and the veto power and all that stuff.
I'll watch Big Brother.
Yeah, I'll watch some Big Brother.
I think you're
going
gonna
to
hate it.
Totally, I know I'm going to hate
really
I
it.
saw
think
the
you're gonna
first.
not
I
like it.
saw the first season of Big Brother Canada, and I got really into it.
Big Brother Canada was fantastic.
Yeah.
This season really made me mad.
That's you were telling me that. That's right.
You know what I'm thinking?
It's a good show. It's just
The
annoying.
last. Oh, by the way, that Survivor game they did where they had to throw the ball and then try and solve the puzzle.
Oh,
fucking
that-
incredible.
Love that one.
Love that.
That
one.
was a great. That was a great
Well,
one.
the one they replaced with it was the one where they put the ball down, and then it comes out one side, they grab it, they drop it, comes out another side, and they grab it, and then that gets faster and faster and faster. So they
Oh.
replaced it with a big, large Plinko
I like
thing.
that way better.
This one's
Yeah.
way better because
Yeah.
you forget.
Yeah.
Like it's two things at
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
The other one is like you just
And-
have to keep doing it so
And
that
it's
you don't.
so funny to see them just have to wait in the worst way for that fucking stupid ball to keep going.
Yeah, like,
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Jimmy proposed before the show that there were hot
getting
dogs
married.
and beer. Well, that too. Yeah. I'm.
I proposed
do you guys?
before the show started.
you
You guys
know-
weren't here yet.
Do you know what I found out while I was in researching this? Was that the script for Chuck and Larry
Yeah.
was actually written by Alexander Payne,
What?
and it was supposed to be a
outta here.
heartwarming take on two firemen called Flamers.
Not a fart movie.
It was
my
not
God.
supposed to be. I now
Flamers,
pronounce
that's
you Chuck and Larry. Sandler got a hold of the script and they like fart and dick joke the hell out of it.
No.
But it was actually written by Alexander Payne.
That's so
Really?
funny. It
Yeah.
probably is a completely different movie.
It is, but like
Yeah.
that's what I found out during like my what
could've
if
been
deep
good.
dives. It
So
could
the
have been.
holdovers, it's the handovers?
Yeah,
Nice,
sure. Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
I've got a good one to pitch before you guys go. What if we did a which fictional high school would be the worst to attend?
Oh my God. So like looking at like
Sunnydale High or whatever from Buffy.
yeah, and like
or
the,
like
from
Harry
Grease,
Potter.
Do
whatever
you
the school
wanna
from
do
Grease
that?
is. Yeah.
Do you want to do high school against high school and do a bracket?
I thought we'd all just
Like a
bring
pep
one
rally?
and we argue
the
why it
best.
would be the worst to
okay,
go.
all right. I like
And
that.
then
Worst to
basically your
go.
job would be worst to go.
That's
And your
funny.
jobs would be like, well, I think it might be fun for this idea, and you'd be like, well, no, actually, that would fucking
Dangerous
kill you.
Minds.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so funny.
Euphoria.
That's funny.
I think that's the
That's a funny
sexiest school.
pick.
I think that's
That's
the
the horny.
If you want to lose your virginity, you go to
You go to
Euphoria
Euphoria
school.
High.
Yeah.
13 Reasons Why.
But you're not one of the main characters in this. You're just one of the. You're just going to school.
I'm just going to school.
That's all
Gotcha.
you're doing.
I'm Steve.
Okay.
Which school would you not want
'Kay.
to go to? But you're just like a regular student.
I
You're
think
not
this
Harry
is-
Potter. You're not Ron.
You're
Gotcha,
just
gotcha.
Steve.
Yeah.
You're like
You're just Michael.
Adam the radar
So we're
type.
picking the worst
That would
high
actually
school that
be
you
really
don't wanna
funny.
Go to.
Yeah, you're picking
Yeah.
the absolute worst.
That'd be really funny.
you know what's funny?
accidentally get enrolled into Hogwarts and you find out you're not magical.
Oh.
Everyone else is. and
But
you're
they
just-
leave you there.
Yeah, they make you stay.
I'm just learning math.
Here's what I want to do. Charles is someone who pitched a sad fest. So we're going to
Oh,
do
yeah,
a real
Jess-
talk
yeah, Jess
about
wanted to do
all
that,
the
yeah.
emotional cries,
Yeah.
all the movies.
Your
that
favorite
you,
like go-to, I'm going to cry. This is a
I
good
need a
movie
good
to
cry.
get to
I need to be sad. Like it's
The story
so
of Brian Piccolo, Brian's song.
yeah.
anything
Yeah.
you want, right? We're going to do that. That same month, we should pick what high school is the worst high school
Okay.
to go to and have a real downer month.
Yeah,
We'll have a real fucking Debbie Downer. I think those are both great. I also think that if you have a what if idea, this is where you leave a fucking voicemail and we play it on the show, and then you get to be a part of the whole thing. So if you want to send us an email at therealdebaters@gmail.com, send us your idea there. If you want to leave a voicemail and get featured on the show, it's in the show notes. You get up to like 3 minutes to be like, this is what I think you should have done, or like your Beatles fucking prediction is ridiculous, right? Like
We're
you
gonna get
can-
a lot of
so
those.
much
yeah,
backlash
yeah,
from the
like
Beatles.
this is where you get to gripe and have a lot of fun. So if you want to be interactive, if you want to be part of the show, come be a part of our thing.
You could be our thing.
You could be our thing. You could
Be
be
our
involved in
thing.
this thing. So in the show notes, leave your what if idea. This is your first time listening. Thank you so much for getting all the way through. We always say that if you've listened this far, you should probably subscribe because it only gets better. And follow us on our social media. So if you're in Winnipeg and Manitoba and you want to see some trivia, some comedy, some nerdgasm shit, listen to Charles Gripe. If you're in Vancouver and you want to see Martin do stand-up, it's all there. So just join the Debaterverse and mass debate along with us. I have been Ringo.
Oh, I've been second breakfast.
I died in 9/11.
No sequel for La Bamba.
La Bomb.
And
Bob.
No sequel for
9/11, La Bamba.
Oh my God.
No sequel for La Bamba.
Watch all the movies, kids. We've been your real debaters. We'll see you next week. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So if you have any problems, dial information. Thank you for calling.